excites me a lot.
Absolutely. We're just going to get, I think, right into it, right into our first game. It's going to be on Inferno Pools. Not a map I expected for our first map, but that is what it is. Lots and lots to talk about both of these players, and we'll be getting into it right after this.
Team Gravity presents Fight Night.
Y'all ready for this?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Inferno Pools, the most inferno of pools spawning in the lava, fiery doom side of the map. On the right side of lava, fiery doom, it's our Zerg player, Acer's Scarlett.
And her opponent spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, not quite surrounded by lava, a little bit cooler on this side. We got the blue Terran player representing Team Evil Geniuses. It is Xeno Cider. I like to imagine that those pools on the ground are actually cider.
Cider. The in the northern area. I mean the green cider?
The southern area. The southern area. The southern side of this map is covered with liquid, and the northern side is covered with lava.
Right, but I mean, is cider green? Like, even if you have green apples, the cider is still going to be like an amber color, is it not? Or have I just not experienced enough variety of cider in my life?
I don't know. It sort of depends on the bottle you have, too, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe there is something on the top of the top of the cider. So there's something that's just like covering it, making it a little bit green or murky.
That would explain why it's all exactly on the same plane of existence here. But you know, that's a big Mountain Dew thing. You pour Mountain Dew into a regular glass, it looks like, you know, yellow. It's like piss yellow. It's like awful color for marketing. Let's throw that into a transparent green bottle. Whoa, Mountain Dew, it's cool. Check it out.
Yeah.
You know, let's get some food dye up in there to make it more marketable. And of course, this map implying some of those same tactics. Ooh, nice green color. I want to spawn on this side of the map. It's tough to compete with lava, though. To be honest, it's tough.
It is. It'd be really cool if there were things that you could do with like the ground, the surrounding terrain. Sorry, not terrain. Surrounding terrain on like the bottom of the map. You could like throw people. Like for example, you have the Reapers, the Reaper grenades in Legacy of the Void. Imagine if you could just blow people off into the lava. That would be fantastic. That would make
that would be. It would be nuts to see like a Thor and just like it tips over and falls into lava. It's like, oh, like thumbs up as it's going down, you know.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
I know that no one can see, but I did make the thumbs up as I did mime that out. And realizing afterwards, like, oh wait, this is a complete waste of time. No one can see what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, hey, kind of interesting opening over here from Xenocider. Not going for the Reaper opening, a little bit less common to see in this day and age. Instead, just going for the earlier Marines, going for the bunker, and yeah, still mining gas, so going to be able to throw down that factory pretty quickly.
Yep, this kind of a build leaves you a little bit more in the dark. It's a little bit more, you kind of are hedging your bets. You're saying, okay, I'm just going to be pretty much safe against everything as I move into this situation.
Hey, Jack?
But you've seen something, I think, Ravi. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so normally the time that I see a lair start for a Zerg player is not 4 minutes and 45 seconds. It's a good bit later. This is an insanely fast lair. This is Scarlett saying, I'm not going to get Zergling speed, I'm not going to get upgrade, I'm not even going to drone up, I'm getting the lair as fast as possible.
I mean, what is this even? With like, the lair's going to finish with maybe Is it going to be 200 gas?
Nidus?
Yeah, the layer's going slow. It should have 200 gas. I mean, you could go into 2-base Muta, but I mean, I think that there's just not enough gas for that at this point in time. Like, what do you think is going on here?
I think this might be a Nidus worm play. I mean, you think about Inferno Pools, you have really, really big expansion area, as well as your main base is pretty big. There's definitely opportunity. The Overlord is nicely positioned to do something like that. But there's going to be the Spire, like you were saying. And it's a very interesting decision, just because, as you're saying, like, the gas geysers not taken. I guess it kind of makes sense, because if you tried to take your gas geysers too early, you're gonna be this is speaking from experience as a terrible Zerg player in team games. Sometimes you think, okay, I need as many gas as possible. If you take them too early, you end up in this weird situation where you realize you don't have the minerals to build Mutalisks. So it kind of makes sense. I can kind of understand why you'd want to take them a little bit on the later side. You need to make sure you have enough drones mining minerals to get up the Mutalisks.
Look at this spending from Scarlett. It's just wonderfully timed out. Even getting the speed, droning up. This is just a really fast 2-base Muta. I mean, there's 2-base Muta plays, but this one is, I think, one of the faster ones as far as just getting those Mutas out. So there's not going to be this big explosion of Mutas like you have in some other 2-base Muta plays, but they'll be out a lot faster. So we're looking at, I don't know, maybe be able to get here before any turrets are up. Are going down right now. As far as scouting is concerned, there's pretty much none scouting from Xenocider. He's seen that you know, Scarlett is spreading creep, which is, you know, very strange for Scarlett, as we all know. She almost never spreads creep. That, of course, is sarcastic.
Slash
She is
sarcasm.
Amazing creep spreading Zerg. One of the best. She's one of the players, her and Demaga, that really popularized the super heavy creep spread plays.
Yeah, but you've seen that there's
trying to
no
zone away from
Zergling
the
speed.
Spire here. Oh my god!
Wow,
Oh,
that's
what a
really
play.
important round. But Xenocider might be tipped off by the fact that, wait a second, you still haven't finished Zergling speed? Did you just completely forego it? That's got to set off some alarms. He might not know
and
exactly
it does.
what's there.
We got 3
but
turrets
yeah.
coming down.
Oh
Excellently
man,
done there.
perfect. The Mutals are going to be coming in just barely before the missile turrets finish up, but I mean, they're not going to be there in a high enough number to really take that guy out, it doesn't seem like.
Yep. Now it's not over, so to say.
Yeah.
The Mutas are really good at finding little spots to get damage, like this spot over here, taking out some workers, and potentially this refiner as well, but not getting too greedy. That's really one of the more important things when you're going for a Muta style play. You can't get too greedy with the Mutas. You have to keep them alive. And this play over here, this is a super vulnerable gold base over here, and will not likely make it out alive.
That was a very, very greedy play from Xenocider. He's got 4 Marines who are just kind of contemplating like, well, our boss said to come over here, but I don't really feel... Okay, there's some backup. Now I can go in to defend. But still, this is going to be such a far-out base to defend with so few Marines already out the... Oh, man. Oh, God, that refinery went down to, like, single digit.
Man.
He didn't actually repair it out of the burning range.
Wow.
Oh.
That was a moment. I think we just had a moment. Nice zoning turret here. For those of you new Terran players, always great when you're dealing against Mutas. Three turrets every time. One kind of in the middle, and one in each mineral line. But there's almost always space for the Mutas can come in and do damage, and they've done that so far. No dead Mutas. None dead Mutas. The number of dead Mutas is none, which is an excellent number to have if you're Scarlett.
Yeah. 1 Mutalisk has died so far throughout the entire harassment, and they're still doing some nice damage. And I want to note that even though Xenocider did get up this gold expansion, Scarlett got up her own gold expansion. I still feel like Xenocider, if he can hold on, he's done a pretty decent job. He's losing Marines, but he's not losing a lot of his economy. So his economy is still looking to be in a fantastic shape, especially, I mean, upgrade-wise, staying on 1-1. If he throws down that armory, I don't think he's throwing down the armory yet. He can start up his 2-2, but I really like Xenocider's position overall.
This might actually be one of those strange situations where the Zerg is actually going to be ahead in upgrades for a little while, just because the armory is so late here.
Yeah, medevac drop coming into the main base. Xenocider has finally put on a bit of that counter pressure and going to pull those Beetles back. That's so important. He's giving himself a breathing room, time to get up his own units to get that defenses up. But these Marines are already doing a lot of damage.
Here. Absolutely, and I'm gonna come in try to clean this up with Mutalisk, but Marines do quite well. Looks like they're targeting down drones. Really smart decision there. 10 drones in total dead. And in the meantime, he's gonna use this moment to clean up. Oh, Queen and some great.
Oh, Banelings of the third with the gold expansion. Xenocider. Oh, gonna be able to get out of there without losing too much. Has to rebuild the bunker, but not the worst thing in the world.
Not the worst thing in the world at all. They're much more worser of things, but 2-2 on the way. 2-2-2 on the way. 2-2 on the ground and 2 attack for the Mutalisks. And we have 2 hatcheries coming in. One that will be a 4th base, and then one will be a macro hatchery. I've actually been casting a lot of Scarlett recently because Scarlett's been playing in a lot of different show matches, and she does tend to really like getting this macro hatchery right around the time that she gets the 4th base. Really helps with that larva, especially when you go on Ling Bane Muta. Lings are very, very large. Oh, this catch! What a catch! 10 supply gone. See you later.
Oh, that's super solid for Scarlett. And I want to know, this is the first time that Xenocider is going to have the opportunity to clean up any sort of creep. And he's going to be able to do a little bit of damage over here, but the Mutals are also going to be able to do some nice damage to the production facilities of Xenocider. He's going to be able to take out a tech lab just after, I think, it finished researching combat shields. Yeah. But research still does finish up.
Nice high ground move over here. This is like one of the things that makes the gold base so vulnerable, is this having to deal with this high ground. But all the Zerg forces coming in. This is like watching Starship Troopers from all the angles on the creep. They have to hold on. Oh! Some of these. Oh man, the hits. I was really, that Widowmine hit was very strange in the beginning of that engagement. He unburrowed Widowmine rather than targeting. And all those banelings were clumped up. I was surprised. I thought they were all going to go down, but it turns out Xeno made a bit of a mistake there, and that was able to be cleaned up there with those banes.
Yeah, very interesting engagement. Scarlett does manage to clean up everything and can start to put on that counter pressure. There are 2 medevacs that are sitting on the right-hand side of the map, unloaded in case the Mutals do end up finding them. They can immediately react without having to slowly unload. But that does cause a kind of interesting, weird situation where Scarlett is trying to continue to put on that pressure, but Xenocider's also moving out right now. So they're both just ending up in weird spots where they're both out of position to defend.
Yep, and this is looking pretty nice. We got drops. We got the mutas. They're going all the way back. This drop's going to be really nice here. And even catching some of these banelings out of position. In the meantime, we do have a drop in the main base. And there is nothing here to defend it. Zerglings will pop out. But that Widowmine actually, both of the Widowmine damaging those.
Widowmine is there on the defense.
More than pretty much anything else. That really hurt the attack there. Those Widowmines.
Yeah, but the push in on the left-hand side of the map. Finally gotten over there to that 4th expansion, and oh god, those Widowmines getting some great hits off on the Zerglings, doing a little bit of friendly fire damage, but Burrow used on these drones. Xenocider is going to drop down a scan, pick some of those guys off, as well as potentially that expansion. The Mutals are so far out of position that they're not going to be able to do a lot.
My god, the drones being killed here. 31 drones. That's absolutely insane. We have 58 workers to 55. That's how many workers Scarlett had before.
Oh, look at this Xenocider pulling the Mutals so far out because of an empty medevac, and that's going to allow these units on the left-hand side to move in toward the gold expansion, try and get stuff. The Widowmines get taken out, but there's more units coming in from the bottom side. Scarlett's trying to deal with both of these guys on both fronts.
Yep, really difficult. Does engage the force over here, but very likely going to lose this 3rd base. And it's 3 bases versus 3 base. Really not a position you want to be in. It looks like maybe this engagement will be able to go in the favor of Scarlett here. A little bit of a misclick. Those Zerglings going on the high ground instead of the low ground there to defend. But it looks like it is cleaned up. It really is about this 4th base, though. Being able to get a 4th base against the 3 base Terran is super important. And the fact that this 3rd base from Xenocider has been up for so long, just really difficult for a Zerg player to deal with here.
Yeah, but what they get to remember about those gold expansions is that they do mine out a good bit faster. You have to be kind of careful about that, and that means that the expansion, I mean, it's nice that Xenocider has that 3rd expansion, but you can't necessarily do that, oh, I'm on 3 bases as a Terran player, so I actually have an economy that can last for ages. It doesn't last quite as long. You have to think about that 4th expansion a little bit sooner, and I feel like Xenocider is probably going to start feeling that pressure sometime in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, very interestingly, Xenosider is dropping the mules in the gold base. Quick tip for all of you players out there, the gold base mules do not collect minerals any faster than blue base mules. Mules always gather 30 minerals per trip, no matter what. So a little bit of inefficiency there, but no, you could always just do that to try to not mine out quite as fast. This Muta move is dealing a lot of damage when we have the counterattack coming in from Xenosider on the other side of the map. Xenosider with the bigger army, and just not being able to take a heads-up fight is Scarlett. She's doing this to
being
make
taken out. 3-3 gets taken out, and Scarlett gonna shut down any future upgrades coming in from Xenosider, even though they're halfway finished. Now coming in with the Baneling, seeing how much damage she can do. Does manage to clean up quite a bit of this army, but there's still another drop going in, and that looks like it's gonna get cleaned up as well.
Yep, really great moves here. Scarlett has 5 bases up. Not 5 bases mining, but they're up. And keeping those hatcheries up can be incredibly difficult. The fact that she was able to wipe out that army, Xenosider was so far ahead before that flurry of engagements, and Scarlett has been able to come back here as long as she gets these Banelings connect. She needs to get the Banelings connecting at the right time in the right place, and it looks like, oh, this reinforcement from Xenosider is absolutely brutal. Where are the Banelings? Only one on the map right now. None morphing at all. Really, Scarlett needs Banelings to be able to deal with, and she has none.
Yeah, this is the thing about fighting against Xenosider, and why I said I feel like sometimes when I watch Xenosider, it makes me think this is ridiculous. How is this possible? It seems broken. Xenosider just seems to generate units out of nowhere. It's just constantly units. Even when he ends up losing an army, he always has the backup army behind it. He always has another drop going. He always has more things happening on the map. It's constant aggression, constant pressure. Scarlett's been doing this so well, but now I think she's going to end up losing that expansion in the gold, losing another expansion in the top left-hand corner. She's going to shut down the mining over here of Xenosider, but this is just turning this game into a no mining situation.
Nobody shall be allowed to mine at all. Really smart move over in the top left-hand side of the map. Scarlett ran away her drones and burrowed them all out of the usual scan radius. So let's see if Xeno picked up on that. Moving up to scout over inside. In the meantime, we do have the really big Widow Mine hits there, losing some mutas, followed up by the Thor coming in as well. And yes, all these drones are going to survive. Excellently played by Scarlett. She really needs those drones. And yeah, going to use one of those to expand right away. Really nice play here. Getting that 4th base up, super critical, and even Scarlett coming in here now doing some harassment. More SCVs are going to fall here and moving right in. Great positional play. Going to get right on top of these production facilities and be able to do some serious damage, because most of the units to be able to defend are quite far away. And be able to take out a factory and even move in and special supply depot. That's 16 supply down. Lose one of those.
Luckily, Scarlett's been freeing up more than enough supply for Xenosider to make sure that he doesn't get supply blocked over there. But God, these beetles are doing so much damage. A drop comes in to the main base though, and this is, again, like something that I can see is happening constantly. As Xenosider says, alright, I'm gonna let you do tons and tons of damage to me, but I'm just gonna also try and do tons and tons of damage to you. It's almost like semi-base trades, except it's not base trading, it's harassment trading. You're just saying, like, blow for blow. I don't need a defense, I have offense.
Now we have 25 workers killed, 24 workers killed, 25 and 25 for both sides. So like you said, it is a harassment trade. No mining shall happen. And unfortunately, though, it's this one Marine is really stopping any chance for mining over on the left side of the map for Scarlett. And just really difficult. We want to talk about the incomes here. It is 25 minutes in the game, and we have about 500 minerals per minute for each player as income right now. It's quite awful.
That expansion that Xenosider has is so important. He can mine there with only 16 SCVs, and I mean, not even that many mules, because he ended up losing his other orbital commands. That's the command center or orbital command from his main base, so he doesn't have a lot of mules, but that is a significantly larger amount of mining than Scarlett, who has only got 2 mineral patches at the natural expansion. That is the sum of the minerals Scarlett is mining.
Oh man, and this army supply just coming in from Xenosider. Scarlett can't really take a heads-up engagement, so she's going to counterattack with the Mutalisk. This Mutalisk flaw is huge. Can potentially take out all of this. That Thor able to get some pretty good shots in before it's moving out, and this is going to signal the hammer for Xenosider, just going straight forward into the base here, and just Scarlett just not being able to find a place to get damage here.
wondering if she should just go for it on that Thor and the Marines. I mean, there's not that much there left. And if she takes out that expansion, I mean, there's literally no mining happening for Xenocider. He's only got one orbital command left over at that point.
Yep, very scary scenario if you're going to go ahead and engage a Thor head-on, well, Thor Marine head-on with Mutalisk.
Yeah.
Very sort of, you know, it's a risky play to make. Scarlett staying on the safe side of things, not going in for that, attempting to buy time, but this is getting worse and worse for Scarlett as the game goes on. She's going to have to make some serious moves to be able to get back into this game.
Oh, Jack Attack, do you like Scarlett versus Bomber? Do you get nerd chills when you think about those burrowed Bane hits that she can bait out? Well, she's burrowing some Banes, and guess what you do not have a lot of when you're in the situation Xenocider's in? Scans! You don't have a lot of scans when you only have 2 orbital commands and 1 mining base. You want to use all of those mules instead of scans. You don't want to use the energy on scanning for potential burrowed banelings. You can see the creep spread is also ridiculous over here. Scarlett has a great opportunity to take on this army if she can bait out the right hits. And I think that is what she might just be relying on, doing that. And she needs to also get up an expansion. That's going to be so important. She's got enough minerals for it now.
Yeah, she's going to be considering where exactly the expansion is going to be taken. Going at the gold, there's not enough minerals left, but if you expand at that third base she's long distance mining from, you're really close in push distance from the Terran, so it's a bit scary either way. And Xeno really on top of that top left-hand side of the map. No sneaky base is going to be coming in for Scarlett there. Oh, in position here, we got some. We got a Thor. Oh my God, that hit every single. Oh my God, that first hit all of them.
Oh, the Thor micro! He's going
play.
for the kills! Doesn't quite get any, but lowers them a little bit further. Oh, Scarlett's gonna have to back up. And that might not seem like a big deal. You might kind of be thinking, oh, well, Scarlett's just gonna regenerate that health on the Mutals anyways. They regenerate so quickly. Well, it's the important fact that right now, Xenocider still has infinitely better mining than Scarlett, so he's buying himself time. With these Mutals can't do a lot.
Oh man, and I mean, I'm with you. We had just like one Thor and some Marines down there. Maybe, you know, just magic boxing that Thor would have been the way to go, but she's playing super safe. She's really putting a lot of emphasis on trying to keep these Mutalisks alive at all costs.
Oh, taking a couple more Thor volleys. Oh, gotta be so careful with that. But gonna find another window of opportunity to try and do a little bit more damage over here. And even picking up a couple of Marines, supply depots, whatever she can find is going to be nice to find, as long as she's keeping the Mutals alive and keeping Xenocider from pushing across the map and putting pressure on what seems to be the expansion she took at the gold.
Yep, she decided to take the safer base, even though it doesn't have quite as many minerals, and just run through, deal some mostly free damage. She did lose a couple of mutas there, but for the most part, she was able to just dance around there and deal with this. Now, Xenocider has just this beautiful, healthy base, is currently supply blocked. 158 out of 126. So this is a nice moment. And Infestors coming out for Scarlett here.
Oh, very interesting choice. God, Jack Attack, this is game 1. Just remember, this is game 1 in a best of 7.
Oh my God. Crazy moves here. Scarlett moving around here. How many Infestors do we have out so far? 5 Infestors with just 5 Infestors. And the fungal growths are ready to happen here. Burrowed Banelings going off there.
Scanned. Yep, and now Xenocider's kind of wise to the shenaniganry, sees that there are those burrowed Banelings, and you gotta be saving them up, not using them on mules. I mean, he's got an okay-ish amount of SCVs mining now, and you can see he's even got a scan saved up for when he wants to push on a little bit further. There, he ends up using it. Boom, there goes a couple more of those burrowed Banelings. There's not a whole lot left for Scarlett. And she's running out of space to retreat back into. The gold expansion is going to be vulnerable now. She's
nice
up the
pickups
ramp.
here. Getting some units here and there. Scarlett really needs to find these opportunities to deal a little bit of damage without losing any. She really needs to shave down these forces before that main engagement happens. She's setting up a nice position. Yep, taking a couple Marines here, getting a free Marauder over there. Any kind of damage you can get with these mutas, that's really where they excel, is in this mobility, but is going to go ahead and lose that base over to the side. And these Marines, the absolute heroes of Xenocider, completely scouting this move here to take any mining at all. That's really the problem here is Scarlett needs to mine. Nice fungals on the Marauders up to the top, and she literally just killed 2 Marauders with fungals, and she's just gonna keep doing it here. The cool thing about energy units in situations like this, as long as you can keep them alive, they can just keep getting more and more value, despite the fact that you're not getting any income. You have the energy income. You know, every second you're getting another 10 energy on your infestors. And that is the extent of Scarlett's income right now, pretty much.
I mean, Scarlett, if you look at the income tab, there are 0 minerals per minute coming in. She's gotta make do with whatever she has, and she still has the Mutilus Flock. The Mutilus Flock gonna be going in to the natural expansion. Oh, she can take out that orbital command. She takes out that orbital command that cuts down on scans, that cuts down on mules, that cuts down on a lot.
Oh man, if she can get the
brings
orbital,
it to burning.
it's really difficult. Oh, it's burning down.
I mean,
no.
Are there SCVs nearby to even repair it?
No. One is being built, and that should be built in time.
Yeah.
That worker is literally being built to repair. That's why that worker is
They can still come back in though. They can take out that single SCV. It's not repairing. Jack attack. That SCV is not repairing.
We're at 150 health. We'll have to keep an eye on that as we fly through here. Oh, nice flank here. There's Thors and Marines everywhere, and Mutilus are falling. This main force up in the front, still difficult to deal with here. We're at 90 health. Oh, man.
This is not the refinery from the earlier stages of the game. You need to repair this. This is actually a big deal.
Oh, man, we're at 50 health.
50 health.
You really need these scans, man.
Oh,
you really. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. Was he doing it? Was he doing it to just troll us? Was that just happening?
He must
I don't
be, man.
know.
That's the second time. That's the second time in this game he's let it fall down to like 30 health or lower.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is going to be a really rough position for Scarlett because the longer this game goes on, the more units Xeno has. He has enough to defend against the Mutilus at home in all 3 of those locations, in the main base, and the natural, and the third, and he has enough to contain Scarlett. So Scarlett has those awesome infestors, but is it enough? Oh god, there's sensor towers and missile turrets. It's scary. Xenosaur's got a base outside of Scarlett's base. It's not mining. It's just missile turrets and sensor towers and an enormous spread. This is ridiculous. Scarlett can't break out of that. No, there's no way.
Yep, and Xenosaur being smart here, scanning that island. The island, one of the options available for Scarlett, but the problem is there's no gas for it.
She has mined, I think, 30 minerals somehow in the past, like, 3 to 5 minutes.
These mules gonna fly past 2 turrets and a Thor. Really don't want to be taking that damage right now. Keep in mind though, Xenocider is mining out of this this last mining base here. We need the miracle of miracle chain fungals here, and it's kind of happening little by little. The fungals are going down. This is not an engageable situation for Mutilus, so they're kind of stuck here.
Marines are being made faster than these Marines are dying to the eventual slow fungal growths from Scarlett. And Scarlett, I think that she realizes she can't wait any longer. The Zerglings and Banelings are starting to get positioned out at the front. Mutilus being controlled back a little bit, but I think that Scarlett knows she has to make this happen now. But Xenocide is pre-split. There's missile turrets over there to make sure that the Mutilus can't really contribute to this breakout of the natural expansion. It's got to happen now.
I mean, getting flanked over here again by Marines and Thors, trying to prolong this, but one interesting... Oh, there it is. And Xenocide are finally building another command center.
I thought he was going to mine out and just float it over again.
Yeah, just do this, the nomad Terran like you see in the campaign. All right, move all the production facilities over, and we will do what we do.
There was an entire mission dedicated to that man. They wanted us to do it.
She just built an attacking force of infested Terrans to start clearing out this contain.
I mean, it's more effective than the fungal growth system, let's be honest.
Well, yeah, I think that's fair. Yep, there she goes. This is how she's decided to get out of the contain, with just forces of free units. No more swarm hosts to get the endless free units, but you know, with proper energy management, you can do it with infestors.
All right, Scarlett's getting around the island base, making sure, okay, you haven't taken anything over there. Dropping a Changeling, gonna take out this barracks. But this is the point where Xenocide is saying, okay, I can start to push up a little bit. You really just don't have a lot left. You just use up so much energy. A couple of fungal growths going down, and I want to say Scarlett has maybe 2 or 3 left. That's not a lot. She actually uses up some of that energy on more infested Terrans. This has got it. This is her final defense.
This is it. Everything coming in the meantime. The Muta's on the map trying to do something. I think they're all dying into small, tiny bits. And this is just about the end. Scarlett, well fought. And this is going to be it. Infested Terrans, how good are they? They're all out and ready to go. And we'll see. They are killing stuff quite well, but not well enough. GG with a well-deserved, long-fought victory. 41 minutes of battle from Xenocider for the victory. 1-0. That was game 1.
That was game 1, and what a game 1 it was. And I know that there was like the past 5 to 10 minutes was sort of just the downhill, slow decline of Scarlett having 0 mining and Xenocider just slowly getting up more and more units. And I gotta hand it to Xenocider. That was incredibly patient play. But the first 30 minutes of that game was so unbelievably cutthroat, back and forth. I mean, the best way I could describe it, and I think it's a metaphor that's been used a couple of times before in the past in StarCraft, is 2 players sitting in a boxing ring with their hands down, just taking turns of punching each other in the face repeatedly. Just not allowing either one to get any kind of mining up whatsoever. Just repeatedly clobbering each other in the face until one of them passed out.
Yeah, you know, that is a really great way to... That's a nice analogy. Excellent vision going on there.
It's appropriate for fight night.
Appropriate for fight night. Yeah, that was wild. I mean, and the orbital command, that almost died. That would have been done. 1 orbital command left. That's 1 scan once in a while. You're hoping for that, miracle burrowed baneling explosion. Because that's the thing, and I think that's part of the reason why Xeno was being so careful, is because with all those Marines, 1 baneling hit, or 2 banelings in, together is just, that could take out half your army, 3/4 of your army. It's really scary.
Can make or break the difference in a defense or even an offense in some situations. But we're going to be jumping into game number 2. We're going to be resetting the entire game state back to 6 workers and a mining base, which is a lot more than Scarlett had in the later stages of that last game. Let's go ahead and see what these 2 players are going to be capable of on the map. Expedition Lost. It's gonna be an intense one. No matter what ends up happening, I can just feel it, man. All right, spawning up here in the top right-hand corner of the map, we got the pink Zerg player who's sitting down 0-1, but after a very, very close game number 1, it is Team Acer's Scarlett.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of a screen, the ever-patient blue Terran from Team Evil Geniuses, Xenocider.
So game number 1, we have a very long game.
Is happening over here. There happens to be a worker, and normally you would say, "Oh, worker on the map, that's a scout." Well, this is too early to be a scout, and the fact that we're at 8 supply just might mean 888.
Oh my. So, with the barracks going down, Scarlett sending her overlords in no direction anywhere near where that barracks is going down. This could be a highly, highly effective. And I imagine barracks finishes, it lifts up and goes straight into the main base, starts cranking out some of those Marines. This could get really, really scary. Or Reapers.
Yeah,
Reapers, sorry.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
so I was like, I think Reapers. Now, you can jump up here, right? Correct. I mean, I'm just kind of just second guessing myself. You can jump up over here.
Yeah.
We're gonna find. Oh no! Nice play. The lift off and moving in here. So from that, I'm going to guess that you can't actually jump up in this section with those rocks over there blocking the way. It seems to be a little bit of a chasm over here. But yeah, very, very strong push. The hatchery and pool are down in that order, not the order that you would prefer to have them out in this kind of attack. Nothing scouted so far from Scarlett at all.
I don't think Scarlett's seen the SCV come in and has not seen the bunker being built. Now she sees it, and this should immediately prompt a reaction. But this is one of those things where you sometimes see Terran players do this when there's a Reaper, just a regular Reaper opening. But the angle that Reaper came in may be a bit of a tell.
Oh, it's got to be a tell. And coming in here, building an evolution chamber, and you know, saving that drone, staying alive here. Excellent micro from both sides here, keeping everybody alive. Interesting that Scarlett's building evolution chambers when it's usually spore crawlers. But in any case, coming through over here, making it happen, even getting some assist with that SCV. Oh, just barely saving with the spine crawler there. Maybe hoping to be able to keep that up. These lings will help. We do have a spore crawler coming in the background. Not exactly sure what that's all about, but here we are. Moving in with some more. It's really about this micro and just excellent control here from Xeno, getting more and more kills. We already have a worker advantage for the Terran player.
3 workers already killed. The Zerglings are starting to go down, but loses one of the Reapers. Is still producing more and more and going to continue that aggression, and also probably going to continue to get the wall off back at home with some supply depots. But no, command center going down behind this. So Xeno already pretty happy with how much damage he's done. Unloads the Reapers from the bunker and is going to even salvage it and just continue to do whatever damage he can right now. He's already forced out such a big reaction. And as you said, he has the worker advantage.
Yeah, expanding a home, building a factory behind, and sending that barracks back. So very little loss in this attack. And normally that economy sacrifice, you would say, oh, sacrifice the economy. Yeah, but, you know, the worker advantage is in the favor of the Terran player. For at least a short amount of time. This second hatchery, though, is going to be really nice for helping Scarlett catch back up.
Oh yeah, having done already is obviously going to be nice, but I really like that follow-up from Xeno, just immediately plop down that command center. Now, I don't know if that's going to make him a bit more vulnerable to any kind of big follow-up that Scarlett might plan to do with a bunch of speed Zerglings, trying to deny that natural from going up as soon as Xeno would like it to go up. But with the factory already finishing up and, you know, adding on the reactor and everything, I feel... Yeah, I feel like the Hellions should be out in time to deal with any kind of Zergling pressure anyways, so I'm really liking this situation for Xeno.
Yep, really nice Overlord placement by Scarlett over here. Should be able to see this float to the third eventually. But, you know, again, sometimes that doesn't happen quite as much. Sometimes you have a float to the natural, and then that third CC stays in there for a very long time. We are getting the star part up, so super heavy into the tech after investing into that 3CC. Xeno is very aware that no big attacks can come to hurt him for quite a while.
Yeah, very much so. Well, Scarlett has the safety of a spine crawler and starting to get that creep spread up. That's going to be very, very helpful against the Hellions. One kind of nice thing about this is, even though the Hellions will be coming out, Scarlett already is known for having fantastic creep spread, and she already did kind of get her creep spread started before a lot of the really, really big aggression happened. So it's just sort of set everything back and Xenocider's build a bit, but the creep spread's still there. So she's going to have an even better creep spread than usual in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when games open up like this, it kind of becomes irrelevant to use the timer because everything has been sort of set back. We do have, you know, Reapers and Hellions like we normally have in a ZVT, and we do have Queens out spreading creep like we normally have, but that timer's just kind of thrown off in this case.
Yep. Zergling gonna chase after that Reaper. We'll see if Xenocider can get any kind of useful scouting information off from it. Queen even gonna be greeting it, and she will be able to take that out. So no scout out about third expansions or whether or not Scarlett's going into banelings, like what kind of responses, how many queens she has, and the fact that there is a 2-base Spire coming out.
Yep, Scarlett apparently liking that 2-base Spire quite a bit. We do see this initial scouting. Oh, this drone coming out at a poor time. Does manage to pull back in time to stay alive. That Reaper does not scout it, so
good
no
surround.
known intention of the third base timing. until this Banshee comes around. Should be able to scout this just at the right moment. Excellently done. Banshee follow-up here is going to help harass with a really low unit count and keep Scarlett back from making any sort of big plays too quickly. Now, where is that Spire? Okay, Spire's back in the natural, and it's very likely. Oh, these queens are going around the wrong side to push this Banshee away from scouting that Spire, but not too big of a deal. The Spire can still be very effective. It's not like this. It's not like a Dark Shrine where it's like, oh god, you scouted the Dark Shrine. Now I'm so lost. The Muse can still get a lot done, despite the fact that you know they're coming, and especially with all this creep spread. Just gonna be able to know any sort of counterattacks that are incoming from miles away.
And very interesting choice. Xenosider already floating that third orbital command over to his third expansion, and probably wants to start up some missile turrets there as soon as possible to make sure that he's going to have him in time for the Mutals popping out. We'll see if he is able to get them up in time.
We do see the
he
same
doesn't really-
kind of a Muse style where it's not a whole lot of Muse at once, though. So it is going to be just one turret should
There's
be
only
okay.
3 Marines, though. Yeah, I think that you need the turret finished, though, before the Mutals get there, because otherwise it's so hard to get the missile turret up if the Mutals are already there. Even if there's only 3 or 4 Mutalists, they just take out the SCVs repeatedly as they try and build them. And there's only 3 Marines out, so I think you need to start it as soon as possible, right?
This is so weird. 2 Mutas versus 6 Marines. Such a really weird sort of micro situation. Very scary
it'll be
for the
enough.
Muta player. You really got to be paying attention. It looks like this turret will get up in time. The third will be secured fairly well over here, but staying out of range of that one turret, that in-betweener turret. Always get a turret somewhat in between your main and natural as a Terran player. Gonna knock down those rocks and continue to spread creep absolutely everywhere.
Jeez.
Scarlett wants to know everything that's going on. Oh yeah, I love when I get attacked like this, because that means I get so much creep spread, and it's fantastic. Even stopping production on some supply depots there, getting whatever damage she can.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice to have these early Mutals out, because it shuts down, especially an aggressive player like Xenosider, it really does halt a lot of the potential aggression that he can put on, because you feel uncomfortable doing the drops against the Mutalists, unless you're just kind of accepting, okay, I'm probably not going to get a massive amount of damage done with these drops. It's going to be a bit of a sacrificial drop, but it'll keep the Mutals away from harassing me. But right now, we're just seeing Xenosider saying, like, okay, I'm going to play a little bit more defensive. I'm not going to sacrifice my drop. I'm just going to try and make sure I don't take too much damage from this. Ooh,
Yeah,
good
Scarlett
one.
absolutely reading that defensive posture, already up to 74 drones. She's in a really nice position on these 4 bases right now. The creep spread is out. She's got the tech up. The upgrades are coming down as well. She's just in a really, really nice spot here. Going to start amassing the army of death. After 8 more drones. Oh my god, I think she's going to, wow, 81 drones. Really getting a full 4 base saturation
87
almost
soon.
there, which you don't see all that often. Yeah, 88 is the magic number for 4 bases, and it looks like she's just about going to hit that.
That's gonna be some scary stuff, man. Because I mean, you also have to consider that besides trying to do drops, which by the way, the creep spread is amazing for scouting nice and early on and being able to react very quickly to, it's gonna take a really long time for Xenostar to make his way across the map without just stepping really far onto creep. It's gonna take so long to clean all of this up and so many different pathways. That's gonna have so much time
nice
to react
move
to
over
this.
here on this side, and this is what that creep allows you to do. Come in with a little bit, chop off some of that army, run away, not too much killed off. Excellent move from Scarlett.
Well, this fourth expansion
is in
actually
a
pretty
lot
close.
of trouble.
Yep.
Running the
Scarlett
workers
has
away.
banelings being made, but they're so far away from actually finishing up. Oh god, and Scarlett's gonna end up losing this expansion.
Absolutely going to lose this expansion, but large supply of banelings coming in should be able to defend from any more damage. But, you know, a little bit difficult here. Scarlett looking to maybe catch some reinforcements in between. We'll see. Oh, and here it is. We have the mage engagement over here. Not a whole heck of a lot of Widow Mines going on, but more banelings coming in. Not enough banelings to deal with that, and gonna have to pull back in and try to buy some time killing these rocks off. And, oh, does buy a small amount of time. They are gonna kill those rocks. Could pick up and move over, but a little bit dangerous with the news there. And that is going to buy the time for these 18 banelings to finish up hopefully for this next attack, at least a good majority of them. But this is a scary push from Xeno.
Yeah, and Xeno gets down to that position at the bottom of the ramp. I mean, we saw what happened in the last game when he was able to get into that position between the third and the natural expansion. And it creates a very awkward defensive position for Scarlett, where she has to move down the ramp with her Banelings and Zerglings against the Widow Mines. It's not a place that Scarlett wants to be, but Xeno does back up, doesn't want to overstay his welcome, because, let's be honest, he was really far on to creep. That could have gotten really scary really quickly.
Absolutely, and when you've denied all the fourth bases, denied the fourth base on the left side and the right side of the map, you know you're in a good position as a Terran player. You know you can hang out on 3 base versus 3 base and be okay. You do have the Hive coming up. It will finish in time for our Zerg player to go ahead and get 3-3. Not something that you often see. Scarlett was really forward-thinking there when she had that advantage and taking the Hive when she could. And still being able to defend. But, man, taking this base again, this is going to be a really difficult defense. The creep is being cleaned up. There's still a lot of it to engage on, though, and a lot of different moves to be made. Maybe trying to wait. She needs 30 seconds more for that 2-2 to finish up. I just don't think she can get it for this engagement.
Look at the Baneling count. She's already up to 68 Banelings and still has 5 more being made. This is absurd.
Nice.
I think that once it's finished up, once 2-2 finishes up, she's going to be able to storm in over here. I don't know if it matters how well you can split against this many Banelings.
Yeah, you can just get to the I don't care number of Banelings and just run in there and kill anything. Nice drop over here on the right side. Really difficult to deal with. And just gets away. 5 drones killed. And most importantly, the attention of Scarlett gets... Oh, no. This hatchery has almost no HP.
That's going to be really difficult. I mean, just a small squadron of, like, these couple of Marines that stem in and focus fire down. Going to be able to finish it up, and that cues Scarlett to move on in with her giant force of Banelings and Zerglings. Going to be able to clean up this army of Xeno without too much trouble. But, I mean, the depth of Xeno, it's not the best or, like, the most amazing trains. I wonder if Scarlett feels like she has to continue the aggression, but no.
Oh, another drop. We got more drones getting killed at the third. This is really not great for Scarlett. Luckily, she had all of those drones for the fourth base, so she's still at a good, efficient level for 3-base economy. She will need to drone up when she gets to that fourth. Going for Ultras, 3-3, and Adrenal Glands here. So we're really getting into that super late game tech. But without a fourth base to support it, it's going to be really difficult for Scarlett to get all this going.
Yeah, Scarlett going to try and do whatever harassment she can with the Mutalisk. Now that some of the drops have been shut down, she has a little bit of breathing room. Gotta be careful. Gonna be able to take out that Widow Mind. Oh, God. Give me a heart attack over
scary
there.
Moments. Always scary moments. Now she is going to
the
scout
right.
this incoming drop over here. That's one of the many benefits of creep. Even going to scout it again with this Overlord. The creep spread is almost to the planetary fortress.
This creep spread is almost to all of Xenocider's bases. And that's with him constantly
look at Xenocider moving
in
now. All the units being pulled a little bit out of position, making a move over here, at least to clean up some creep. But maybe going for this fourth base again. Oh, and another drop over on the right side. This is going to make a pretty easy cleanup over here from this base, but we got some Banelings in position. It's not over just yet. We have some units in position as well. He's going to move in with all of our forces. The drop is picking up the Banelings. Oh, a little bit of miss micro on those Banelings. But it looks like overall this will get cleaned up by the Mutalisks. Well done here. And we have a single Ultralisk on the way. 3 out already, so that'll be a total of 4. And they'll have 3-3 and chitinous plating, which is very, very powerful against the bio forces. The problem, though, with the Ultralisk is just being able to get them into attacking range is just really, really hard. And just finding the area to engage. You really want to be able to engage in an open area with the Ultralisks. And if Scarlett can find the right engagement, she might be able to make this happen.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult thing to do, though. The drop comes in. This is the same drop, I think, that's been going on the left-hand side of the map over and over and over again from Xenocider, but at the same time, pushes in on the right. Scarlett's got to split up her units a little bit. The Ultralisk, I will say they are great at buying time. Even if they end up taking a lot of damage, they take a lot of damage before they need to, or before they actually end up getting taken out.
Yeah, this drop finally gonna get cleaned up. I really wish that drop ships would get kill counts for all the things that they dropped that killed things, so that way we could see how much that drop has done. But it has been an absurd amount of drones. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the 30 or 40 drone area.
Oh, that'd be beautiful, man. Yeah, that would want that same thing as how I want a resources loss per unit. How many resources have been killed? Because sometimes those kill counts don't really do justice to like the things that they've killed.
Yeah, if you kill 100, you know, Ultralisks.
High
is
Templars
like,
or Ultras, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Well, we got
Mules,
drops coming while we move across the map. We got a pretty decent force here to defend. Should be in a nice position to do so. Behind the mineral line, it's going to be tough for these Ultralisks, though, and they are currently in front of the Banelings. Ooh, and
Muna's doing a lot of damage, though. Ooh. Gotta be careful. God, there's just action going on everywhere. Xenocider drops inside the natural expansion, has a drop inside the main base, is pushing in, and the Ultralisks and the Banelings trying to clean this up. Investors trying to land people
no.
This expansion.
For Scarlett, it goes down.
Scarlett's gonna try and charge in with the Banelings. The Infestor's leading the charge. Gotta be careful with that. Good fungal growth going down though, and does manage to lock down the majority of the units. The Ultras getting in and getting that big damage that they needed to get done. But she's still taking damage over the natural expansion. Ultra's gonna be able to clean that up, but Scarlett has lost that big mining base you were talking about, and now securing a gold expansion over in the center of the map. I don't know if this is gonna be easier or harder to defend.
Yeah, it's 1,000 minerals a minute to 1,500 plus for Xeno. So Xeno very much in the lead economically. But with the transfer to that gold base, Scarlett could be in a good position. The problem is being able to secure that gold base from any attacks is going to be very difficult to pull off. Ooh, nicely done, taking out the store here. Really important unit.
Yeah, she's
and
been
5
so
more
active
Festers away. Yeah, with this, you know, this Fester Ultra play can be really strong if it's controlled correctly. It's very difficult to do, but if there's any player who can do it, I certainly count on Scarlett to do so. And this base is just never gonna get. This is just, this poor base.
I think if she keeps just pretending to try and take it, she'll be able to mine at the gold, because Xenocider will be so focused on that right-hand side. And just be like, nope, gonna shut that down again. Nope, gonna shut that down again. He just might never go to the center of the map.
Just out now. Fair amount of mining has been able to get done at that base for now, but here's where it happens. This is a pretty big open area. We can get a nice flank with these Ultralisks. Ooh, infested Terrans and Fungals all over the place. The Infestors getting killed off pretty quickly, but with all of those infested Terrans, if you can take this engagement here, Xeno's going to be in big trouble, and all that army is gone. Look at that.
Losing a lot of mutals to the Widowmine shot, killing a good chunk of them. But yeah, Scarlett holds for a little bit, but she's out of energy now. And this is kind of a scary situation where Xenocider is the monster who just always has more army supply. I mean, look at that. He just lost his entire army, and he still has 80 army supply left over. It's just like, okay, I'm ready for round 747. Let's go. And just moves in, and Scarlett's just like, I need more time, I need more Banelings, I need to remake my Ultralisk, and she's gonna end up taking a lot of damage with this gold again.
Yeah, 5 mutas over here trying to deal. But we do have the Ultralisk, it's gonna be nice. Some Fungals going down, but not quite enough to finish things off. Ooh, that Mutalisk off to the side is gonna get killed as well. But gold is still here. I mean, lost a lot of workers, 13 workers down, but the gold is still here. And, I mean, any base that Xeno wants to take right now has to be cleared from creep first.
That is a really good point. The creep spread, it's gotten to the point where I don't think, the only thing Scarlett can really do with her creep spread is try and double spread it to make it take more time to kill off the creep tumors. Like, that's the only thing I can even think of her doing at this point with the creep spread.
Oh, look at the top left, though. And we have the Widowmine. Saves the day, gonna delay this expansion. Let's see how long that takes to notice what happened. Like, oh, I thought I built an expansion. No, actually, you did not at all build an expansion. I'm sorry. And
drop on the right-hand side, going to the top right. We'll end up seeing potential engagement happening at the same time, and Xenocider just loads up his medevac and gets the heck out of there, but the drop in the main base is going to do like minor amounts of damage. I mean, take out the evolution chambers, I think Scarlett's saying at this point. I was like, I don't really need them anymore.
Yeah, pretty much done with the Evo chambers at this point in the game. Pretty much done with most things except for making units and killing the other dude. So coming with the links here, this just drop gets thwarted over and over again, but not killed off. Look at this! Look, the whole army went to the third base, and now it's this one little drop is just completely controlling the entire position of all of Scarlett. I mean, Scarlett finally gets some more mutas out. That Spire was taken out and had to be rebuilt, and the muta's really helping, which is finishing off. And it looks
Those are
like
only mutalisks too. So
yeah.
Lost all of them before with some of
Yeah.
the crazy widow mines and everything else going on. So gonna be very important to make sure she does well in this
let's check
engagement.
out
Where are the
fungal
bungles?
post here. Gotta cut the good fungals. Gonna help the Ultralisk engage. More fungals going down. And trying to keep these infestors alive is the big deal. And all of this gets cleaned up, and that's GG.
Boyd.
Scarlett with the victory. Beautiful late game ZVT.
Oh, these series, Jag Attack, they are fantastic. They're so much fun to watch. Just constant back and forth action. What's up?
That was game 2.
Oh my god.
That was game
Jack,
2.
I'd be enthralled. I'd be so excited if this is a best of 3, because I'd be like, we get a game 3. This is a best of 7. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get at least 3 more games.
That's crazy. That's crazy. This is
Oh.
what a great fight night. What a great fight night. Oh man, I feel like I say that every time on fight night because that's one of the kind of cool things about setting up show matches is it's not this bracket where it's like, oh, it's a mismatch. I don't really know if this player can take time to set up the right matches and avoid mirror matches and
Yeah.
and
Fight
get
Night
to
has a huge
matchup.
history of Fight Night just has a huge history of having fantastic matches. Even the very, very few like one-sided matches in terms of like 3-0 scores and that, or like 4-0s, etc. They still end up being really cool or interesting or close games. Even the ones I would say earlier on that we saw today.
Earlier today, yeah, we had a
Kellis-
3-0, but those games were nuts.
Yeah, Calazor versus Arthur ended up being, I believe, a 3-1, but or 3-0? Was that the 3-0? Or was it Kelazor, like it was a 3-0, but it was still super interesting and very close and crazy games. And same thing, of course, with the other series we saw today. It was just really, really cool stuff with Sonic versus Puck. And that ended up being a 3-1, but it was still very close and intense games. And we end up seeing like it's one of the two or both. It's either really close games or really close series. And in this case, it's both right now. That's the blessing of Fight Night.
Yeah, even we started off with the 888. One of the most aggressive, if not the most aggressive.
Oh my god, that's a good
Terran
point.
build
I
you could
forgot
have.
about that.
And then we just
forgot.
evolved into this, for lack of a better term, into this like epic late game crazy scenario with beautiful creep spread everywhere. I mean, classic Scarlet stuff happening, and it was great. It was very nice. Sometimes I
Beautiful,
enjoy
beautiful
it.
stuff. All right, so Jack Attack, we're gonna be moving on to the map Coda, and Coda is one of those maps where I've seen a couple of different Terrans, and not every Terran will do this, but a lot of Terrans will take that forward third expansion that's on the low ground of their main base. It sometimes feels really exposed. It feels really out there. But at the same time, it allows Terran players to have that very close push to their opponent's expansions. How do you feel about that versus kind of the more tucked in, more normal third expansion that a lot of players will try and take on this map?
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's kind of nice. I think that pocket is really crazy between the natural and the 2/3. Getting in that position as a Terran can be really nice. Also, same thing. If you can just get on top of one of those potential thirds, that's really in that spot where you can go to the third, or you can go to the main, or you can go into the natural like really easily.
Yeah.
is just tough to deal with as a Zerg player. A lot of airspace, a lot of areas where dropping can happen, and the drops can be safe in between their drops. So we're gonna have to see exactly how everything turns out. We are here. We have arrived. You may not believe it, but it's only game 3. Here on Coda LE, we have spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of our map. You getting lag, question mark? It's Acer's Scarlett.
Game paused.
All right. We don't get to. Scarlett's saying we don't get to do intro for Xenocider. No, he's getting knocked out
you
right
hard
here, right
counter.
now.
If you pause, that's a hard counter to your opponent's intro. That was a really good play there. I wasn't expecting it. We got hard counter actually as the casters. Like she's like, I can beat Xenocider, but I'm also gonna beat Fear Dragon and Jack Attack at the same time.
Actually, here's the thing. Some of the old interfaces, the observer interfaces, end up stopping you from moving the screen around when the game gets paused. Not all of them. A lot of the newer ones just let. I say newer even though they've been around for like 2 years now. God, but a lot of the game hard interfaces, etc. They let you move around. We could still do the intros if we really want to. I don't actually know if the camera still moves around. Like if I still am following our observer's camera. If he's moving around.
Man. I know you'd have to like move your camera
move the camera around. Move the camera around for a second.
I want my camera around.
Wait, I don't. Okay, hold on. All right, move the camera around. Are you moving it?
I'm do not right now, man. I'm moving it.
I'm not following you.
Oh,
that's okay. That's super unfortunate. Yep, Scarlett's beat us, guys.
We'd have to we'd have to like just totally know exactly where Martin is at this moment in time and just like but just we could kind of time it and guess. Or like maybe like Martin could just like follow our lead. Oh, okay, now and this is.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Xenocider. Martin, you with me? By the way, huge shout out to Martin, who not only runs Team Gravity, but is doing all of the streaming and all the production and everything. Let's go ahead and introduce Xenocider. No, but let's do it before Scarlett. Before the
hurry up!
Over here in the top left-hand corner of the map is the blue Terran player representing Team Evil Genius is Xenocider. Woo!
Huh.
Damn you, Scarlett.
We got beat. Scarlett hard countered us,
man. APM, I can't handle it.
Can't handle the APM. That unpause was at like 600 actions a minute. That unpause was so fast. Couldn't even handle it, man.
God.
That's what happens when you go up against the best. Just you end up
like
the best.
There's a reason why this spread's so good, man.
Oh yeah. I have a chart here and it says that creep spread skill and unpausing speed are positively correlated, leading me to believe that the unpausing speed of Scarlett is very likely the fastest on the planet Earth.
Oh, very much so, but we'll see if it comes into play. We got a racks of gas going down over here for Xenocider, and again, I'm thinking about those third expansions, man, and how aggressive Xenocider is as a Terran player, how crazy he's been with. It's not even really been parade pushing. I don't want to phrase it like that, but just getting set up into a position, just rallying the units across the map constantly. Not as I'm engaging with small little bits and pieces, but just having the army repeatedly there. And just even when you take out the army for Xenocider, there's still an 80 supply army back at home. It's such a frustrating thing, I think, to not ever have that breathing room as a Zerg player. And I think taking that farther out third expansion would really benefit that sort of playstyle.
Yeah, I definitely think so, and I think that's one of the hard things about this map is either third you take, you kind of run into some issues. I do like the bottom middle expansion though, and it looks like we might have a pretty fast third here for Scarlett. Nope, just checking for proxies. Psyched you out.
That would have been a crazy.
I got hard counter again, man. Scarlett's
she's saving minerals though. I feel it's okay. Hold on, let's double check. Is Scarlett on the Skype call? No, Scarlett is not on the Skype call. Confirmed, but she's still like reading into everything being discussed.
Yep. Oh yeah, big Ling coming out here. 6 Lings. ready to go. A lot of times you see 2 or 4, but full 6 coming out here and waiting for the last moment on that drone save. Oh, 1 drone still alive. 1 drone still staying alive. And a couple of drones over here as well. Going to split them up and try to, yep, there's another save. And it looks so easy, right? It looks so predictable from our perspective, but really waiting till that last hit and just like pulling it off and just turning it into the spore crawler at just the right time, so you can get as much mining as possible, is very difficult to get that timing right and to do it consistently every time, always saving that drone. It can be very, very difficult to do. We do have 3cc follow up here. I'm sorry, we do not have that at all, the production tab. I thought the natural was already done, but natural finally finishing up here. And we do have the 1-1-1 of the techings going on. Reactor Hellion to follow up and push back the amazing, beautiful, wonderful creep spread of Acer Scarlett.
Indeed, and I want to note Scarlett did skip that Zergling speed, so going to be utilizing slow Zerglings, but has the Queens at the front. It has some Zerglings over in the main base ready to intercept any kind of Reaper shenaniganry that might end up happening. Scarlett does have Overlords really, really well positioned and sees the starport and the factory. Looks like Xeno are going to be like, wait a second, when did that Overlord get over there? And gonna have one Marine just kind of sitting and saying like, oh god, I wish I could have actually got in a range upgrade or something. God, this is really frustrating. But Scarlett gonna have full knowledge of what's going on.
A really big push coming out here. Not too much to defend for Scarlett. Going for a Roach Warren and an Evolution Chamber this time around. Still not getting speed and going for Lair. So we could see some serious Roach shenanigans coming down. Maybe even some Roach Burrow. We never really can tell for sure. Nice defense. Really great micro from these queens.
That
Hasn't
micro.
lost one yet.
She's only lost an Overlord. She didn't even lose Zerglings in that. That is absolutely fantastic. That is really, really well done. And I mean, once these queens will not only be able to regenerate some of their health, but they're also going to continue to build up that energy. If this becomes a bigger and bigger push as we see more and more of these units being rallied across the map, she's going to start to have energy for transfuses. She's going to have energy for all kinds of awesome things.
Oh, wow. Really aggressive creep spread here. That's going to get canceled pretty much right away. Going to leave 1. But moving in here, the Roaches are out. The trap is sprung. And Roach is actually killing off a creep tumor. Not really advised, but sometimes that happens when you have creep everywhere. You just don't have anywhere to attack move. But where there's a creep tumor, you know, that's actually that's when you reach the point where you can't click on the ground without attacking your own creep tumor. You know, maybe it's a little bit too much. Before that point, it's fine. Wow, again, it's just like creep tumor right in front of your face. Like, I'm gonna spread this creep. I don't even care. Yeah, Roach is coming through
Queens,
here.
man.
Yep. And Banshee follow-up coming out of Xeno here. No scout on that yet, I don't believe. No scout at all on that Banshee follow-up. It is kind of a, it's one of those more common options that the Terran has. Xeno has gone for it in past games, so Scarlett is definitely primed for that being one of the available options that's in Xeno's range to pull off here. +1 and the Roaches coming out here. One of the difficult things about going for Roach style, though, in this matchup is once the drops start coming out, it's really difficult to defend without mutas.
Yeah, speaking of which, I mean, these Hellions are already doing a lot of damage over here in the main base. They've been able to roast, what, 9 drones so far? 10 drones? And still going to be able to get out, only loses 1 Hellion. Just unload on the other side of the mineral line. No need to go anywhere else, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the drones are. This is where the damage is going to happen.
Oh man, still hasn't lost 1. Excellently done. And that lack of anti-air going to be amended here. Building a spire, following this up, going away from this Roach play. I wonder what the plan was with these Roaches. Was it just sort of, I'm gonna get these Roaches and I'll transition, into the spire later, or just like whatever plan she had to bail on it and didn't really work out the way she wanted to?
I don't know, like, it seems maybe like it was a bit of a reactionary thing. She got the full scout off and saw the factory and the starport following it up rather than the immediate 3rd CC. But look at this, we got a lot of factories going down. We're going to be seeing some mech play come out from Xenocider, but the Roaches now moving their way across the map. There's only really the Hellions and the Banshees to defend, but I feel like with a wall off mostly complete, this should be enough.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be fine to clean it up. Some of these Hellions are going to go down, and also some workers getting a little bit more damage that I thought that may have happened. 2 Banshees do deal damage out pretty quickly, but we do have a decent amount of workers killed. But it's just really you don't want. You really want more than that. Out of that number of roaches, you want more than 9 workers. But it is sort of like it's okay. You know, it's not the end of the world. And she did decide, you know what, I'm not going for the roaches anymore. I'm going to use them now before they become, you know, useless with, you know, giant Thors with 3 upgrades and all that kind of stuff come out.
Definitely. And the Mutals transition is now coming out with a 4 Mutals on the way. Infestation Pit going down. Very interesting choice to go for that right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's saved. The Infestation Pit has saved her before. Maybe just getting a little jump on that, saying, hey, I might want these, and I want to be ready to pump them out as soon as I need them.
Do you think it's for Vipers in this game? Because she's seen how many Helens we produce and like also all the Banshees. That should be enough of a reveal to see that it's going to be mech. Like, I think it might actually just be for Vipers, maybe.
It's certainly possible. It's always always nice to have that Viper option, right? Vipers is this really versatile unit that you can use in a lot of different situations. So getting up to Hive is always going to be nice. And
Flying Locust.
Wow. All right. This is cool. I saw a little bit of this. Violet was doing a little bit of this in WCS. Didn't end up making out of the group, but played some awesome games against Marine Lord with this making just enough swarm hosts to kill a command center. And just moving the swarm host in, killing the command center, getting out, and doing it again on repeat.
That's scary stuff, man.
So
really,
we
really
might
scary.
see something like that. Or maybe just adding a little bit of like oomph into like a major attack and then moving around. We'll see. How exactly to use the new swarm host is still a new area for a lot of Zerg players, figuring out what is the best way to. Oh my God! Don't lose your mutas. What is the best way to deal to utilize this new swarm host? And we're gonna see it happen here. It's definitely not going to be something that the scan reveals. Like, oh yeah, upgrading out of the infestation pit. Yeah, I'm sure you're getting, you know, pathogen glands. You're definitely not getting swarm hosts. That'd be weird.
Yeah, that is quite strange. Hellions going to be running in, but seeing the swarm host is going to be enough of a reveal. So should be prepared for that now, or at least aware of the possibility of preparing for that. What do? Do you just build missile turrets? Preparing for them to like rain down? What do you do?
Well, I think you kill the swarm hosts. For lack of a better way to say it, the way that it was in the Violet Marine Lord games, the way the Marine Lord dealt with it was just having a nice pack of Banshees and sort of predicting where those swarm hosts were going to be in terms of harassment, just sort of dealing with it that way. All right, and we do have
tanks on siege.
The swarm hosts are going to move in and make an attack. No siege, and those locusts. Oh my God, the damage they do is just absolutely nuts. Everything is being killed by this one wave, but it's very similar. There is nothing that these swarm hosts can do for the next like 30 seconds or so, and that is a long time to do nothing.
At the third expansion, a couple of Hellions getting some drone damage on, as well as over the natural expansion. Some of those Hellions with that engagement that survived, killing so many drones over here. Scarlett, surprisingly enough, still has 60 drones, which is a lot more than I thought she would have after all of that damage. With 69 drones have died. Scarlett has lost more than half of her drones this game, but still at a healthy 66.
Yep, 66 is that magic number. Always want to get up to that 66.
I thought 69 was that magic number, but...
Well, you know, it depends on, you know, who you're talking to and what your priorities are. If your priorities are efficiency and mining, 66 is your magic number. And wow, just moving in with more Hellions, I'm surprised no blue flame. Going for the mech, a lot of times you do see the blue flame. Oh, wow. I don't know about this decision here. Going for that, losing all those locusts just for the small amount of, killed 1 or maybe 2 Hellions. And now it's a whole minute where these swarm hosts do nothing. Really tricky scenario. And ooh, I really like this play from Xeno. He's building sensor towers. One of the ways to deal with this might be to know where those swarm hosts are, and if they try to run over here and do some harass, Xeno will have a good heads up and be able to take advantage of the. Oh Hellions coming through. It's all right. Swarm hosts have a decent amount of hit points, and they do start with 1 armor. So they have a total of 2 armor right now, so they're going to do pretty well against the Hellions. So,
and they're going to be able to back on, find another area where they can try and sneak in. The Roaches and Hydros also moving along the top right-hand side. And Scarlett just in so many ways with the Swarm hosts as fast as they are right now. They're not really the immobile units that they used to be. And with Roach Hydra as well, she has a relatively mobile force. And she's looking for that opportunity. Xenocider has a Hellion on the high ground, sees the Swarm host, also has the sensor tower there. Is Xenocider going to be prepared?
This could be a move into the main, or it could be a move into the contain, or the whatever you call this, a giant
things that
setup.
rhyme work out well.
Yeah, things that rhymes are true, and that is the true things of the world. Okay, and yeah, we just have these locusts coming in here, and just landing. Oh, nice unsiege there, but still, a lot of these units are going to go down.
Wow.
A big thing is that timer, and losing a whole lot of units there for basically free. And that's what this is about. As long as Scarlett can be careful, take free damage when it's available, and keep those swarm hosts alive, she's going to be all right. But this is that vulnerable period. We have 1 minute of vulnerability after every time those get launched out. And she's moved into Greater Spire, 3-3, and Ultralisks as well, and is maxed out far before Xenocider.
And Xenocider is going to be coming in at the bottom left-hand corner and is just greeted by Spine Crawlers and Hydralisks. Surprisingly enough, there's enough of these Hellions that are here that they're still going to be able to move in and get some damage done because he just had so many. But I still like the idea of Scarlett just saying, you know, okay, this is the time where I start to Spine Crawler up, make sure that these Hellion run-bys can't really do this kind of damage, even though they, again, managed to get another, okay, let's see, we're up to 98 drone kills. That's all well and good. That's totally normal for a game.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal
No
at all.
big deal.
I usually like to lose about 100 of my drones per game. That's kind of my magic. I just get in that zone where I lose about 100.
It's 2 away for now.
Yeah.
She can kill 2 of her own drones later. Alright, well, the Banshee's going to be coming in, trying to see what damage they can do, because as many Spine Crawlers as there are, there's actually not a Spore Crawler finished up over at this forward expansion, but here come in those Locust Waves, looking to get some more free damage done.
And the Swarm Host should not be moving in here. We've got a little bit of one control group syndrome going on from Scarlett. There she goes, selecting only the ranged units and not the Swarm Hosts. Gotta be really careful about that.
Over her 100 drone, her goal, as she's up to 113 drones lost now. As the Banshees are just doing so much work throughout this game. Or right now, I should say. They just killed so many drones. And now, gonna find another opportunity over at this 3rd expansion.
Yep, and you know, just overall, Scarlett is doing really great right now, and the denial of this 4th base over and over again has been really difficult for Xenocider, but a lot of tanks in position, but they're unsieged. Gonna lose 1.
Overseers. Overseers, back up. You don't need to be there. She's gonna lose Overseers. Okay. She does manage to pull out, and she has enough Overseers alive. I was just kind of worried because it's just like, all right, there's like 7 missile turrets, and they're all firing on the Overseers that are detecting nothing. Gotta back up, but yeah, this is a really tense situation where Xenocider is never able to get up enough of an army to move out, but Scarlett also is having trouble doing much other than taking out like a couple of the siege tanks at a time.
Well, I mean, I think it's a good position for Scarlett because she can just hang out, take the map, which she's doing, and just stop any bases from being taken. Notice the due diligence over on the top right side of the map, making sure that this base isn't taken. As long as she can starve out Xenocider here on this 3 base, she's going to be fine. She can keep trading, and with all this creep spread, she gets to see these harassments come in from a long ways away.
Well, Hellion's going to be able to continue to do a little bit more bits and pieces of harassments and damage. And it's at that point where this is game 3 Jack Attack, but I'm already starting to fall apart. Because it's just been, it feels like it's game 7. It feels like it's been that long of a series. And in some ways it has. We might end up seeing a big engagement come in over here. Scarlett charging on
here we go, moving in. I don't know about walking into tons of siege tanks. It's not particularly nice to say. The transfuses on this Ultralisk.
Jeez.
Absolutely insane over here. So many of the tanks going down, and this might be the absolute end of the game. Everything being taken out here. Scarlett has the entire map covered in creep. Xenocider has pretty much no income at all, and all of these forces just taking out the command centers. And I mean, we might even have a second wave of locusts at this point.
Xenocider has so much army supply. What is it? Just Vikings? I think it's just Vikings. That's his army supply. It's 16 army supply of Vikings right now, and it's just not enough. I almost feel like he should just try and land them on top of the swarm host and try and stop them. Yeah, he does land them, but a little bit further back.
Yeah, I don't know if the Vikings were moved to deal with the swarm hosts exactly. I mean, there weren't that many units on the field. It was, it's a nice idea, but it didn't work out very well for him. And it's just, he's now scanning all over the map saying, okay, where are you? How many bases do you have? What's the game state right now? Can I take a base? No, sorry, Xeno. I will not allow you to take any bases. I'm just going to remax and make another big attack as Xenocider is up against it.
So, I mean, it's important to also take a look at the fact that Scarlett has all of these bases, but besides that third expansion, almost none of them have really been heavily mined from, or mined from almost at all. Like, it's been somewhere between 3 to 6 drones at each one of those bases. It's been a very, very small number. So in some senses, it's really nice for Scarlett because there's still fresh bases. But at the same time, I don't think that Xenocider has been severely outmined. He's been outmined a little bit, but not by a significant amount so far.
Yep, nice phone growth there, detecting some of those Banshees. Finally getting that last Banshee there. Ooh, nice fungal growth on the Vikings. And GG, there it is.
GG.
All hope has been lost for Xenocider, and he's decided, I will move on to the next game. Excellent, excellent play from Scarlett, making those swarm hosts work, and coming out 2-1 now, I believe.
2-1, that is correct, Jack Attack, and we are at a spot in the series where there has to be at least 2 more games, but a potential 4? A potential 4 left
4,
over?
yeah.
We could have more. We might be not even at the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. It's been that kind of series.
Pretty insane. All the games have been epic so far, and all pretty long.
Yeah, okay, so game number 1, a 41-minute game. Game number 2, a 32-minute game. And game number 3, the shortest, is 27 minutes. We are on a downhill slope. We are on a downhill slope. Eventually, we might get to the 20-minute mark where most games end.
Someday, maybe when you're older, we will most definitely have to see Vonnie Research Station coming up. Xenocider did use mech last game. Mech is in a nice spot on Vonnie Research Station in TVZ, but also that natural base. Maybe vulnerable to some of those swarm host plays that we saw last game. A lot of different moves can happen. We also can still have that standard style. Yep.
Do you think that swarm host play was Scarlett decided that this was going to be a good map for it, or whatever, some other like random decisions that go into that? It's something that she decided kind of before the game, or do you think that was my opponent's going mech and I have comfort, or I think that swarm hosts are going to be a good option versus this mech style? Do you think that was a reactionary thing to Xenocider going for the mech style?
Well, I think that they pretty much don't work against bio almost all the time. So I think that really the only situation where you're going to be building swarm host is against mech. And for a while there, it was just sort of like, oh, the swarm host got changed, we can't use it anymore. And so like, oh no, we can still use it in the same kind of a scenario from our opponent, but in a slightly different way. Like I said in the game, it's still this very new sort of being figured out kind of unit. It's a little bit, a little bit wonky, a little bit uncomfortable for a lot of players, but it's nice to see Scarlett trying that out and making it happen.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll wait and see exactly how the game is going to be playing out as we get ready to move into that game number 4. But I want to remind you guys that this entire show match series, not only Scarlett versus Xenocider, but also Sonic versus Puck, as well as Kelzer versus Arthur, is all brought to you by our amazing, amazing sponsors. We have Hitbox.tv. Again, Jack Attack has already mentioned this before throughout the broadcast, but if you guys are watching this on Team Liquid's awesome, but you should really click on through and check out what Hitbox has for you guys. The chat is amazing. For those who don't know, you can post GIFs just directly into chat if you are a subscriber, so you'll see all of those kinds of things going on. We got awesome, really cool stuff. Like one of my favorite things about Hitbox is just try scrolling down on the webpage, and you'll see that the player will just actually shrink down. It'll become a small little box. You can look at everything else, like the details on the page, without missing any of the action on the video. It's just all the small little things about Hitbox that make it really, really cool. And we also have another amazing sponsor, Jack Attack. You want to really quickly talk about them?
Yeah, absolutely. We have Spawning Tool, which is super awesome and phenomenal. Really great tool for helping you become a better player. One of the fastest ways to learn builders. I didn't know about the thing about the scrolling down, about the hitbox. That's really cool. That's fun to play with. That is such a cool little feature. Love it.
Yeah. All right, but we are going to be spawning up here in the top side of the map, spawning research station on top of the pink Zerg player representing Team Acer. It is going to be Acer Scarlett, setting up 2-1.
And spawning in the bottom section of the area of the map, we have the red Terran Xenocider.
So, talking about SCVs in the map. Now, I want to note, Expedition Lost, we saw an 888. And it still ended up being like a 30 or 40 minute game. But, how do you feel about this one, Jack Attack?
Oh, it's all about the scouting. Let's take a look. The Overlords haven't scouted it out yet, and we have some moving into position. Let's see. The Overlord looks like it's going to go past it. No scouts over here for the drones, and the expansion is going to be on the other side as well. So very unlikely that this gets scouted until it's perhaps too late. And we were looking here, how many drones does Scarlett build? The more drones, the more dangerous this become. We have a hatch first, 2 drones already. That's usually as bad as it gets. We might even see a gas or a 3rd drone here. It's all about this spawning pool timing. Let's take a look. Oh, and
Scarlett saving up
Scarlett,
money.
look at saving up. There's a
There
spawning pool. Okay, we got the spawning pool down. That's
SCV gonna be moving its way on in to get the scout off. Scarlett not gonna see the angle that the SCV was coming in from. Oh god, not even gonna see the SCV starting that the bunker. Oh no, she does see the bunker getting started. Just barely, absolutely barely. I don't know if Xenocider realizes that he's been scouted out, because he hasn't even seen the hatchery yet. Well, Reaper gonna be coming on in and trying to see how much damage he can do. This is the point where Scarlett realizes what the heck is coming on, going on. So we end up seeing a pretty decent micro, and I love this. Scarlett's been doing this actually in some of the earlier games and did this versus the earlier 888. She doesn't just build the evolution chamber, or sorry, the spore crawler. She builds an evolution chamber because I think it lasts a bit longer before she has to cancel it. But still ends up losing one of those drones. Another drone gonna be able to get away just barely. Spore crawler's going up, and it's becoming a bit of a tense situation over here for Scarlett.
absolutely totally wild. We got both of these Reapers coming in here. The spine crawler hopefully will get up and will help out. But I mean, these Reapers just keep getting cranked out over here, and it's just very difficult to deal with. Like last time, we already have the Terran player leading in the worker count and a lot of low hit point workers for our Zerg hero over here. Oh, and a big mistake there. That is not where you put the spine crawler. Pulling it back there is going to lose some very valuable time. You can put the spine crawler in such a place that it outranges the bunker with Reapers in it, but it's a very, very careful process. It has to be memorized, and it's very difficult to do. Only the very most detail-oriented players will have that perfected.
Yeah, and I want to know behind this, Xenocider is up 17 workers to 15, has a factory on the way. Oh, factory, not a command center. Command center is now getting started, but factory first. There's going to be a follow-up of even more aggression behind this, and that means that Xenocider is probably going to be okay without losing these Reapers. He doesn't have to overcommit to doing anything over here. He can just utilize his Reapers for the follow-up Hellion push.
Yeah, and Scarlett going right away up to 4 queens to help deal with this, and that's going to help as well, kind of like we saw last time. Just a lot of creep spread should be coming out of this as a result.
Yeah, and not only that, but this is Vonnie Research Station. Sure, those Reapers are going to be useful to jump up that cliff, but versus the Hellions, 2 of these queens can block that ramp off and stop any Hellions from making their way into the main base. That is something that you can do if you have all of these queens, these 4 queens out. You can use 2 of the queens to block the ramp and stop the Hellions from coming in, and then you can use the rest of them to deal with wherever the Reapers are.
Yep, and we do see kind of a similar follow-up here from Xenocider going for that 3cc and the Fast Factory as well with the follow-up, going home, getting the necessary damage done. Just a lot of damage done by those 3 Reapers. Just one of them with 6 kills.
No
you know?
Hellions. Yeah, this is super interesting.
Oh,
Xenocider
wow.
not using the reactor from the factory. He's popping it onto a barracks that he's starting to build and just building another reactor for the factory. So this means the Hellions are going to be very far delayed. But here's the thing, the creep spread can't really get started for Scarlett over here. It can't start to get outside of the main base. So the Reapers are already doing kind of the same job that the Hellions probably would have. I like this.
Yeah, one of the Reapers being picked off, 2 Reapers going all the way home, so Scarlett will now be safe to do as she wants. Nice scan there, going to scout the layer timing. Very useful to know exactly what's going on there. That way you know, okay, when can mutas get in my base? When could, apparently also, you know, other flying temporary units coming into my base that we may not be expecting, you know? Who knows at this point? Link's going across the map. Should get a nice scout on what's going on. We'll be able to see at least 2 of these barracks.
Yep.
And
Barracks
no
gonna
expansion
turn
just
out
yet.
rooms.
Oh, she's not gonna poke up the ramp just yet. There's a lot of
expansion.
marine. This is intense. This factory is actually just not building anything but reactors. This is a really cool play here. The factory is literally an add-on builder. It is the 3rd worker unit of the of the Terran race. You got mules, you got SCVs, and you also have factories. They also build things.
Very effective. And behind this on my notes, Scarlett starting up that Spire, getting up that 3rd expansion, just getting ready to transition out of that earlier harassment that she ended up facing off against. And has a decent number of the gas guys already taken, and is starting to mine some of that gas, but it's not going to be an enormous number of Mutalisks popping out. She's only sitting around like 300 gas, and the Spire's already halfway completed, so oh man, it's going to be a sort of weird situation. I don't know how much these Mutalisks are going to do, especially with how many of these Marine Xenocider has been pumping out with those reactor barracks.
Yeah, keep in mind too that the Widow mines have been seriously delayed because this factory has been doing nothing but building add-ons. We are going to get this, I think, crazy frontal push here, and there are no banelings anywhere to be seen. Is there even a baneling nest? I hope on the way. Not.
Nope.
Looking like it at all. So this number of Marines hitting at this point in time is just going to be awful to deal with.
Yeah, that's going to be a very, very scary prospect. Now, one thing that Scarlett has going for her is that creep spread. Oh, God, you can always count on Scarlett to have that creep spread going. And that'll help out a good bit. It'll delay the push-in, or at least scare Xenocider a little bit, and make him a bit more hesitant. And that's going to buy time, for example, for the Baneling Nest that's just now starting up to finish up, as well as for the Banelings to actually morph in themselves.
Oh, really nice Overlord placement. Going to scout this drop in time. The Mutas should be able to react and get over there in a reasonable amount of time, as well as the Zerglings. We'll see how much can get unloaded, and it looks like about none in the actual base of Scarlett there. Nice deflection. Excellent. All from that Overlord placement.
Yeah, very well done over there, and very soon the Overlord placement might not even be that necessary as the creep spread again, spreading its way onto that right-hand side of the map and saying, well, I don't even need Overlords to scout it out if the creep will just do it for me. Mutalisks going to continue to dart around, but here comes the big push out from Xenocider, and it's a bit smaller than you normally would have expected, but once these two forces join in, this is going to start to get a little bit scary without the Banelings.
Yep, the baneling speed is just starting now, so despite the fact that Xeno is on creep, should be able to engage pretty well without having to worry about a baneling speed. 1-1 also not done yet. Actually, we're gonna have a nice little slim timing where Xenocider will be ahead in upgrades. You can get a nice engagement during that time. It'll be good for him to be able to pull it off. Nice little Widowmine placements over here. I think we'll be able to kill this queen. Almost kill Xenocider as well.
Xenocider is trying so hard to like figure out the places of like, okay, I want to clean up some of this creep spread. Got to scan over here, got to scan over here, and there's still just like 4 or 5 active creep tumors out on the front. Kills off another one. There's another creep tumor just directly to the right of that. There's actually 2 still active creep tumors over there. It's so hard to get the creep spread killed off for Scarlett.
Absolutely, and it just doesn't stop. We actually have queens in production, a queen in production right now. So just, oh yeah, I lost a queen, so I guess I'll just keep making queens because I want to have lots and lots of queens because they're great. We're still waiting on that baneling speed. Should be finishing up right about now.
Finish.
That will trigger the attack. Here we go. It's all about, oh, these Widowmine being a little bit late on the explosions, but I don't think it's enough. Banelings to clean this up. A couple more Banelings come in. Will the Mutalisk, not a lot of Mutalisk, not enough to engage that, and actually canceling this 4th base. Huge deal in this Biomine versus Lingbane Muta style. That 4th base of the Zerg is really that point of contention. You can, as a Terran player, prevent that 4th base from happening. You're pretty much going to be able to take the game as long as you don't make any large mistakes.
Yeah, Scarlett really gonna have to rely on the units that she has right now to try and make something happen, either to try and clean this up or just start to put on some of that counter pressure. But Xenocider, he's gotten into that macro mode. All of his barracks and add-ons and everything are completed, except for that one factory is still plopping its way on, building more tech labs and whatever other add-ons needs to be built. But Xenocider is he's churning out more and more units. And Scarlett is still just struggling to try and get up that 4th expansion. Trying to take the gold at the same time. This is a nice maneuver. You're almost guaranteed, not total guaranteed, but you have a really good chance of getting up at least one of the bases.
Yep. And it only costs you, in the end, 125 minerals if the drone gets killed off, which in this case it did. Muta's going into the main of Xenocider. 1 turret only, gonna fly past it and go to the... Wow, there's no turrets in the main. Actually... 3 engineering base. Interesting. But ooh, might get this upgrade. Don't be too greedy now. Not being too greedy, pulling off. And that's one of those very intelligent moments. Scarlett playing very safe here. Ooh, running into 2 turrets. That is
listen,
really
a lot of Mutalists.
A lot of
More
man.
Mutalists? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was
less than ideal.
that hurt the team. We're up to 5 total Mutalisk killed, and in the meantime, that 4th at the gold just finishing up. It has not been scouted yet by Xenocider, so hopefully Scarlett will be able to claw her way back into this game. Still down though, 30 supply against a Terran player. Really not the space you want to be in as a Zerg player. Zerg almost always with a supply lead.
It's a pretty scary situation right now. It's specifically that army supply, because Scarlett again is sitting on that very, very healthy drone count of the 73 workers, but it's about getting up the bases to actually mine with those workers. And gonna try and clean up this drop, but god, the 2-2 Marines, pretty difficult to clean up.
Absolutely, and creep spread finally going down, and this base for Scarlett still, I mean, barely anything mined is gonna get taken out here pretty swift. What? You didn't bring up the rest of... Oh, wow. Xenocider was playing very cautiously there, not bringing up his whole army to engage in this, and actually ended up hurting him in the end. Whoa! Oh my god, the Thor hits! One more hit, and oh my god, these Mutalisks. Oh my god, so many dead Mutalisks. That was 9 dead Mutalisks. 9 Mutalisks got killed in that engagement. That's 900 gas. That's... Oh. And
she's gonna
again, losing this base. She's been on 3 base for way too long here.
The other base on the other side of the map is going to be finishing up, and the drones are transferring over there. But look at this. We got a small little squadron of 4 Marines. I'm going to try and take out as many of these drones as possible. At a minimum, going to delay mining for a little bit longer and buy time for the rest of the army to move over to that side of the map again. trying to shut
Yep.
down those fourths. And it's like you were saying, Jack Attack, you do not let the Zerg get up a fourth. What are they to do?
Absolutely, it's like playing whack-a-mole. Xeno is just knocking down these expansions like nobody's business, and yeah, just it's really hard to get a good engagement, even on creep here. You know, Scarlett's struggling to get a good engagement, get good connections with these banelings. She's got some more coming in from the other side. Nice splits here by Xenocider, and again, he ends out on top. Not enough banelings, and we have fourth base getting killed again. I don't know how much longer Scarlett can deal with this, but based on our last couple of games, I feel like we'll at least be going another 5 minutes into this game.
This is, I think, the final hold of Scarlett. She cannot hold on over here. She's going to lose her third expansion. These banelings have to had magnificent hits. The Mules have to clean up these medevacs. One, they're retreating, and Scarlett has to retreat back with the banelings and the Zerglings. I don't know if there's enough that's going to get cleaned up over here.
They are dropping out one at a time, which is helpful. This this army might become
Getting a good bit.
almost all of it got killed. Oh
Has to
no,
win
takes
this.
big engagement off creep, but getting some decent baneling hits over here.
Hold up the door.
Losing
There's nothing
Mutalisks.
left. Oh, there's nothing left on the ground though. It's not enough to continue the momentum and to continue pushing on in. And that means that Xenocider gonna get up his fourth base before Scarlett, who's been trying to get one up for the past 7 minutes. That's a painful sting. It's gonna be getting up a fifth expansion before Scarlett establishes that fourth.
Scarlett with another double spam for the fourth.
Oh god, Noodles taking like 2 Widow Mines straight to the face, all of them in the orange. A couple of them already going down. That was painful.
Very, very dangerous, right on the edge of complete everything is death. But in the meantime, main attack going on directly down the center, not going off to the fourth. This is a strike to the heart here. We got directly to the heart of the Zerg here, going right in, and these banelings morphing in, trying to get in. Here's the engagement, hoping for some good hits. There's a lot of marauders in here to soak up baneling hits, and oh man, all right, we have the second round of banelings. They don't clean everything up, and lots of Mutalisks dying to turrets on the other side of the map.
I think it's too much. This force is going to be able to take out this base again, and Scarlett has 73 drones, but nowhere to bring those minerals to. Mutalisks trying to fight directly against these Marines, and I think that there's not enough Marines, but there's just too much stuff. Xenocider taking game number 4, tying up the series 2-2. Jack Attack, that was game 4.
Yep, just that constant, intense grind of Xenocider there, just to make sure, okay, you don't have fourth, and there's your fourth up, and it's dead. And there's your fourth up, and it's dead. And just being able to deflect all that Mutalisk harassment, stay ahead for the entirety, and just just being in that constant great position. Yeah.
Xenocider makes Terran look unfair. It's just constant rallying across the map. And it's like what you were saying, the whack-a-mole game of denying the fourth expansion. But it's the fact that Xenocider never let Scarlett, like, he had good enough depth in every single attack. And he's done this for every single game so far. Even though Scarlett has amazing creep spread, and normally every Terran player would be afraid of that, Xenocider just has such ridiculous depth to his army in terms of how far back those banelings have to go. It's like the siege tank depth that you would oftentimes talk about, where it's just when you try and commit in as a Zerg player that has these melee units that have to get very close up, no matter how far you go in, there's always more that's further back in that's just wailing away, and you never feel comfortable just backing up because you're just like, oh, but there's going to be all those shots that I'm taking on the retreat. It's never going to be enough. But at the same time, there's still enough units far enough forward that you're going to be taking damage. You have to engage, otherwise your expansion is going to go down. And it's such an annoying thing, I think, for the Zerg players like Scarlett to deal with. And Xenostar has just done such a phenomenal job of that throughout the series. I think that's the #1 thing I love about Xenostar's play in this series.
Yep, just absolutely relentless. It's just beautiful to watch, and there are a lot of players who can try to play that style, and like you said, he's got amazing macro, amazing multitasking. When all the dust settles, he's got another army ready to go, and it's just that's some of my favorite style of Terran to watch.
I don't know, man. If I was playing against Xenocider, ignoring the fact that I'm like 27 leagues below Xenocider, it feel unfair, man. It's like nobody should be that good. Nobody should be able to play like that because it's frustrating to deal with. And Scarlett's been doing a pretty good job so far. Uh, she's been able to hang in there and obviously take some pretty solid wins and victories. Of course, it's tied up 2-2. It's been a very, very close series. But how do you deal with that? This is like becoming almost a series of I was gonna say a series of stamina, but let's be honest, this is not a best of 69. It feels wrong to say that anything is a battle of stamina anymore after the Bunny versus best of 69. So I rescind what I just said, but still, it's been a long series.
Yeah, and speaking of which, it has been very intense. I think the players need a short break. We need a short break. You, the viewers, just absorb all the epicness that just happened. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the remainder of this best of 7 on Team Gravity's Fight Night.
Oh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Team Gravity's Fight Night. We've had some amazing, beautiful things happen already. Ravi, how are you doing today?
I am doing quite fantastically because we've had some amazing games, not just throughout the day, but specifically this series has been insane. It's been intense. And we're going to be jumping into game number 5 of this best of 7 series for $60 first place and $20 to second place. Now, wait. So here's, okay, I'm going to put a little context in for you guys. We had a game that was loaded up, everyone was ready, and Scarlett was Terran, selected Terran. And so Xeno said, you know, okay, it must be a race thing. Scarlett's saying, like, oh, my units seem to be Terran right now. Unfortunately, our observer has already left.
Am I getting
And
DRG'd?
Xeno Setter is, yeah, saying, like, am I getting done good? Yeah. And we're gonna regame it. I think that there was a bit of confusion. I'm not sure. That might have actually been an intentional decision. Scarlett didn't just leave the game. Xeno Setter didn't just leave the game.
Yeah, no, they didn't leave. They were like playing, and they were like kind of talking about, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
I
there
have
was like
SCVs. What's up with that?
SCVs being made. Scarlett was like making SCVs. She was preparing for the game. I think that might have been an intentional decision. Maybe.
Well, I mean, we'll find out as soon as we're in that, you know, that next game. So, we'll see. Or she could do one of these. Oh yeah, I'm Zerk, and the last second switch it to Terran. Did you ever do that?
Oh, that'd be beautiful. I used to do that in Brood War all the time.
Oh yeah, because you could change up to the like the very last moment. They very intelligently got rid of that in StarCraft too. Yeah. And
I would actually do that for an arcade game or like the custom maps, because back in Brood War, I know like in StarCraft 2 and the arcade and stuff, you have little drop downs. You know, like for example, if you're playing like Battle for Helm's Deep, you can be like, oh, I want to be Gimli, or I want to be Aragorn, or, you know, such and such Rohan defenders. But back in Brood War, the way that things would be is you'd have teams set up, and the names of the teams would be, okay, if you're the first slot for the team, then you're such and such, and if you're in the second slot, you're in such and such. So they'd have it labeled. So I would switch around through that in Brood War, like at the very last second. And I would pretend like I was like, okay, let's have the strategy going. Okay, we're gonna settle on the strategy. Cool. And I switch teams to the other team, and then I would just be like, I know the strategy now. I'd feel so cool. It didn't actually work most of the time, but I felt good about it. Unfortunately, we aren't gonna be getting that Terran versus Terran, but still should be a good series.
Absolutely, and we do have Echo LE. Excellent. That is the name of the map. The name of the player, of course, is EG's Xenocider.
And his opponent spawning up at the top left-hand corner, we have the pink Zerg player representing Team Acer. It is Scarlett. Just let the crickets talk for a little bit.
They sound nice. They sound, you know, just, you know, it's
Yeah. There should be
comfy.
more maps with crickets. There really should be more maps with crickets.
Yeah, I feel like the problem with StarCraft right now, you know, it's I don't like to complain about balance and things like that, but I really gotta say, the problem is that there's no cricket critter. I feel like
That's a
so
really good
many
point.
problems of imbalance come from the critters and the fact that there's no visible crickets. You just hear them, but where are they? I don't see any crickets. Crickets on the map.
What if there was a cricket critter? And this map has cricket sounds for everyone, right? It just has cricket sounds going. When you kill the cricket critter, it stops the cricket sounds for both players. So someone would just suddenly hear like the cricket noises stop, and they'd be like, "Wait, did my opponent just kill the cricket critter?" And you'd be like, "Oh wait, the cricket critter is normally spawning at this location on the map. That must mean that they have a unit at that location." Some information. It's affecting the game. I love it, man.
Affecting the game. You know what? That's where it's about. We really need neutral critters with random movement patterns to be affecting the game in a more real and serious way.
I mean, we have neutral destructible rocks.
That's
We have
right.
neutral destructible pilots. Why can't we have just neutral destructible critters that affect the game?
Absolutely. You know, just more what I like to call randomosity. I think we need at least, you know, 12 to 13% more randomosity in the game. We're going to be happy. Speaking of which, no, it's not similar at all. We got 2 Reapers coming out. We'll see if Xeno opts for the third. That is the general gist of the TVZ Reaper openings. You have 1, 2, or 3. And, you know, the more Reapers you build, the more damage you have to get done to really justify that, because all this is sort of delaying tech.
That's very true. And we don't generally end up seeing 2 Reaper builds as often anymore. Generally, I end up seeing 1 or 3. Because, I mean, if you invest in 2, you kind of have to ask, well, why didn't I just make a 3rd and go for queen kills or queen snipes? And that's exactly what Xenocider is going to be thinking as well. Goes to the 3rd Reaper and is already doing some good damage with this 1st Reaper. Killing off 1 or 2 Zerglings, at least softening up a lot of them.
Yeah, 1 Zergling. Oh, got a little greedy there. Oh, Xenocider might just get out. Oh, yes, another kill. Oh, but the queen finishes it off, and that is really going to hurt the fact, because this is, like you said, a 3 Reaper opening, and killing a Reaper that early is just, you got to feel really good as Scarlett in that kind of a position.
Yeah, it's something that it might not seem like the biggest of deals, because you think, oh, well, there's going to be 2 Reapers out anyways. Well, this stops the ability for the Reapers to take on a queen. They can no longer go for that queen snipe. It's that critical number of 3 Reapers that allows them to do that, so... Xenocider are going to have to be a little bit more cautious. These are more just going to be there to put on slight amounts of pressure, maybe snipe off a creep tumor if he gets lucky. He already sniped off 1 creep tumor and has delayed a bit of that creep spread.
Yep. It is possible for 1 Reaper to kill 1 queen, but it just takes a really, really long time.
Yeah.
But, the regen rate of Reapers engaging with queens and then pulling back is faster for the Reapers overall than it is for the queens, so... As long as you can get an even number of Reapers and Queens, you will be able to eventually keep the Queens into the dead area of their existence.
Fun facts going on over there, but 3CC coming out from Xenocider, as we have the first set of Hellions just popping on out, making their way across the map, and you know, Echo is one of those maps that if you knock down that cooling tower at your 3rd expansion, it can be a really, really nice expansion to defend. I really do enjoy seeing the Terran players having nice, safe 3rd expansions, because we've seen what Xenocider is capable of once he gets with the 3 base, man. He's felt a little bit like a mini Polt throughout this series, just like constant aggression and being really, really strong once he gets that 3 base.
Yep, absolutely, and he's going to be able to get up to it pretty quickly. We do have the factory again, building add-ons. So we have the same style around as last game. I really like this. It's kind of cool. I've always thought about, you know, it's like, this is one of those things you sort of theory craft in like the very beginning of the game. Like, oh, what if you use your factory to build add-ons, so that way you could make more bio units, and then you're like, oh yeah, I guess that's cool, but no one ever does it, and then now, Xenocider making it happen for real. It is really annoying to try and remember, keep on top of it, lift off land, build another one, but he's just gonna keep it going here, and he's got it all timed out and worked out. It's a really cool build here from Xenocider.
Yeah, just really, really small, minute optimizations that go on with that kind of stuff. As you were saying, it's just you crank out a couple extra units. Now, this is a bit of a trade-off, though. He's not producing additional Hellions, and he did end up just losing majority of his Hellions. Only has 2 left over, and they are not long for this world. They are going to end up falling, so he's back down to 0 factory units. No Widowmine's going to be produced as well for a while. Will that affect him that much? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. The Widowmines have been a pretty important part of his engagements in the past, but he can always get into the production for them later.
Yeah, very much in the dark right now. Xeno is just blind built 3 turrets, and the mutas are coming not now, but in quite some time. So a nice little advantage here for Scarlett, forcing out or not even forcing out, but just, you know, the early turrets. Not really necessary.
Yeah.
And a little bit of supply blockage happening for poor little Xenocider over here. I think that's the other thing that's interesting too about Xenocider. Xenocider is 17 years old. Like, he's got a lot of years of StarCraft ahead of him. He's already one of the better players in the North American scene.
It's scary, man. This kid, still in high school. I think now, just very, very recently, he's going to be going to college as of like this year. But it's absurd what he's capable of. Now, I've found different varying stories on terms of like how much time people have when they go to college versus high school. Some people feel like they have more time. Some people feel like they have less time. I unfortunately think that Xenocide is going to be one of the kind of people who's going to have like one of those crazy difficult majors, going to have less time for StarCraft. So
yeah,
I hope that he's able to like continue playing and like practicing and getting really, really good. But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it depends. I was gonna say it depends a lot on your area of study. Even like for me, like when I was getting my music degree, I had no time for anything. I was taking 11 classes a semester, and I was pretty much like almost nonstop in a practice room practicing, or in class doing something, or like writing papers for someone. It was like, and it's just that's the kind of thing that's gonna happen. A lot of creep getting cleaned up here by Xenocider. A lot of creep.
I want to note
mostly active
interesting things going on in the production tab for both these players. We got additional factories being thrown down for Xenocider, as well as that armory finishing up, but at the same time, lifting up at the barracks. But we got Corruptors coming out for Scarlett. That is a really, really weird decision.
I love the dark style Corruptor style. It's really, really fun, really cool. The Corruptors just deal with the Medivacs in such a crazy fast way because they deal all that damage, and they have a lot of hit points. So it's hard to kill them off like you can with mutas. Just a lot more meaty solution to the anti-air.
Losing that 4th expansion is going to be kind of rough for Scarlett. Does manage to get some of the roaches and banelings over there in time to clean up some of the units for Xenocider, but I mean the damage has been done, and there's still this drop on the left-hand side of the map. But yeah, the Corruptors gonna be nice for trying to pick off those Medivacs and just putting a timer on a lot of these drops, and might
This
even be able to
Widowmine,
find these guys.
If it gets aimed correctly, it does not. Could have killed some banelings there. Very, very small miss, not too big of a deal. We do have another Widowmine. I think that actually killed the drone that was going to expand. I think that worked out quite well.
Scarlett going to be able to get up a large number of units at this point. I mean, sitting on the 75 drones, just cranking out more and more units. Units is the only thing that she really needs to worry about, besides getting a couple of the upgrades and everything. 2-2 going to be finishing up soon. I feel like she's going to be in a nice place to try and take this 4th and then just go for a big attack. At least that's what it seems like it's leading into.
Yeah, this like heavy Roach Bane Corruptor play, really cool style. 2-2 is going to be finishing up, and that might be the signal. And we do it all. Look at this tiny force. Look at this paltry force just moving out here. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do something. I was like, no, you're not going to do anything. The only thing you're going to do is march forward, because you know the drops are coming in, and they do get cleaned up pretty quickly. Not too much damage dealt. I believe there was a drop over on the other side as well.
Yeah. Yep, those Medivacs on the right-hand side do get cleaned up by the Corruptors. At least one of them does, but the drop on the left, dropping out some of those units. It's a weakened up Medivac from one of the earlier drops, but it's still getting some good damage done over here.
Yeah, nice target firing by that Queen, taking on the Medivac before it fell. And this 4th base, though, still secure. Still secure for Scarlett, and that's very important. We are at maxed out situation here for Scarlett. Really nice, strong, beefy army. Not the more fragile. Oh my God, the banelings.
That is a lot of banelings.
Oh wow, that is 30, 57 banelings. Holy crap! And engaging without a lot of them, interestingly enough.
Yeah, there's a substantial number of them, almost 30 of them that she's not engaging with. And she moves in, a lot of the banelings exploding, but Xenocider just has so many units still left over, and Scarlett backs up. Waits for some more of those banelings and charges on in. I wonder if that was a bit of a blunder, though.
Yeah, you wonder exactly what to take. These roaches kind of block up the Marines, but does it even matter at this point in time? This number of banelings just plowing on through, getting really nice connections at the end there. That was super important.
Still banelings left.
Oh my God, this base of Xenocide are going to come crashing down. Luckily, he can lift off, but then again, hooray for Corruptors. Look at this. I don't think the Orbital Command is going to make it, and maybe we'll have a holdover here. Nice Widowmine hits. Excuse me. I thought the other one was gonna finish
Yeah.
that off. But
Oh god. Dr. Call time and date. That orbital command has gone down, and with it, a lot of Xenocider's economy right now. God, even a Thor has to take out one of the missile turrets that he had set up just because, well, it was blocked in, and that kind of sucks. Although I guess the missile turrets haven't been doing a whole lot against those Mutalists. Hurdy, her. Never
Yeah,
came out
right.
as corruptors. Oh, that's actually really unfortunate. That's
going
so
into Mutus now, though.
I have not seen as much of the dark style, and it's looking pretty scary, man. I've not been able to stay up late enough to watch dark play in Pro League and everything, but I've gotta say it seems really difficult as a Terran player to get a good read on like whether or not you're gonna be just facing off versus Mutals or just the mass corruptor style.
Yep, it is. It's a lot of fun, and it's really nice to see that variation of play, the viability of multiple, unit combinations. We have this big giant engagement over here. The Baneling stayed back for most of the Widowmine hits. They should be able to come over here, get some good connections. Big part of that force is still left over, but this is looking like the final push. Scarlett takes the game. And that's 3-2 Scarlett now, huh?
Yeah, 3-2 Scarlett, and is that, I want to say that's the first time that Scarlett's had the lead in this series. I think it's been like going back and forth 1-1, 1-1.
I believe
So
that is
Scarlett
correct.
finally taking after winning 2 games in a row. She won the last game, right? Yes.
Yeah, it was 1-1, and then it was
Yeah, yeah.
2-1,
Well-
and then she won twice, and now it's 3-2.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Starting to build up a bit of that momentum, and with a very different play style in that last game. So I'm wondering, is that something that she'll end up doing again in the next game? Is that something she's gonna identify? Oh, Xenocider's not super prepared for this. I mean, the Corruptors clearly showed like they were pretty helpful in cleaning up a lot of those drops. The drops just weren't doing as much damage as I felt like they did in some of the earlier games.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
certainly going to be. Like, it's crazy. Someone actually mentioned this in the chat, that the amount of cheese that we've seen in this series, and all the games are long. We haven't had a short game yet.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's
just like
absurd.
super epic, awesome games. And not like the, oh, it was a long game. Oh, man, glad it's
Yeah,
finally over. No, it's like long, like action-packed to the end.
I
It's like
don't know
watching
who's
Mad
gonna win.
Max. It's
Yeah.
like, how can the action keep going for this long and I don't get bored? I can't believe it. It's either StarCraft or Mad Max. In this case, it was StarCraft.
That's quite fantastic. But we are going to be going into game number 6. We're potentially closing in on the end of the series, and the map is going to be Iron Fortress, one of the few remaining maps in the map pool. And I want to remind everyone that there were no bans available, and that means that players were, picking just the maps that they felt the most comfortable on earlier on in the series, alternating. So it sort of works out that, we end up seeing that sort of more back and forth playing out. But we're starting to get to the maps that nobody really wanted to play. These are the maps that normally I think would be banned because neither of the players really wanted to end up playing it out. So we'll end up seeing how this fares, or how these two players fare on Iron Fortress. Do you have any thoughts about how this can end up playing out, Iron Fortress? I just think really, really big, open, natural expansions on this map.
Yep. Definitely for the early game, it kind of gets shaped by that big open area in the natural expansion. Obviously, we got a 4-player map, so we have some options for the extremes that appear a lot of times in 4-player maps. Scarlett has 7 pooled on a giant 4-player map before, but it did not go well for her. I believe that map was Whirlwind long ago. Might even have been Tal'Darim Altar a long ago in the era where PvP was only 4-gate versus 4-gate, and that was all. You just decided, all right, am I going to be the defensive 4-gate player or are you? And that's
Dude,
what
that
it
was
was.
those were some mind games, man, where you both open
Seriously,
up 4 gates,
right?
and you still are deciding, like, okay, do I open up defensively or offensively? Or do you both open up defensively? That's what the games got really weird.
Right, and then you just end up with like 9 Colossus versus 9 Colossus, and you hope you win.
Oh god, I didn't get to see it often enough, man. I would just be like, I don't know what I do. Go Dark Templar, just Dark Templar. Hope they don't have detection. Games, man. But let's go ahead and jump in and introduce the players. No pro house in this game, and we're going to be spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map one game away from victory in Team Gravity Fight Night, one game away from making it to the Tournament of Champions. It is Team Acer Scarlett.
And spawning in the bottom left. He's behind one game. He needs to make this happen right now. It's EG Xenocider. And he's going to be going for a command center first. Pretty classic move. I was kind of alluding to it in the beginning, but that's a lot of times what you see in these big 4-player maps is either like the super greed, and occasionally you get like the super aggression proxy 2 racks in the middle of map madness, which
It's
is
a
super
4-player
fun.
map. They'll never see this coming.
You'll never know what hit him, as the Ghost likes to say. We do have safe, relatively safe builds overall for both players. That command center first, it's, you know, you can say, oh, it's a greedy build. Yeah, it's a greedy build, but in this map, you can almost always get away with it, following up pretty quickly, but not doing the double barracks follow-up, instead going for a gas, which is a little less conventional.
Yeah, a very interesting follow-up, and it makes me think that he wants to just jump into the pressure as soon as possible. Like, I'm thinking either really, really fast factory coming out, or fast factory follow-up just to get up the 1-1-1, and
Right.
potentially just start the drops as early as possible. That seems like it might be the case. We'll have to wait and see, only time will tell. In the meanwhile, Scarlett getting up that expansion, and we've seen different kind of openings from Scarlett throughout the series. We've seen this game she's kind of delaying those gas guys for a good bit and sending out just drones to the natural expansion. Every single time I see one of these drones go down from the main base to the natural, I'm like, is she gonna take a really fast third? It's gonna be like an insanely fast third or something. And I'm like, oh wait, no, she's just rallying down. All right.
I love on this map, there's this little overlord perch, and it's like marked by a little lantern. So just in case you didn't know, this is where the overlord goes. Check it out. It's on this little perch, and you can't see it if you are the other player. You get to see, okay, this is what the wall is looking like, and this is when it's done. This is when the depots are down. This is when Scarlett pauses to, you know, deal with the Canadian internet. Sometimes they don't work out so well, you know. It's tough times.
Canadian internet, I always hear Canadian internet is not very good. And I used to think that it was the kind of mutual complaining about American internet.
Right.
But then I actually heard some of the details about the internet service that people actually get in Canada. Oh my god, it's really bad. It's not
Really?
at all comparable to American internet. The amount that I will pay for American internet, like it's not a matter of, I think, how much you pay for the internet. It's the fact that the options for higher speed internet just aren't there in a lot of areas. That's my understanding of it, at least. Like, I'll talk to people who are will say, you know, I'm trying to stream blah blah blah, all this other stuff. And the best upload and download speed they can get is like 5 by 5, and I'm just like,
Oh god.
that's pretty like bare bones for stream. That's bare minimum kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I can understand it, you know, if you can't afford blah 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 affording. It's like, no, actually, I would love to pay more for my internet. Like, I obviously not love to pay more.
I'd love take all of my money, internet. Take it
all
away.
you Swedes with your, and like all the freaking Koreans with their amazing internet for dirt cheap prices. But they're like, you know, I'd be willing to pay for more, but I just don't. There's nobody providing better internet, and it's pretty bad. Yeah, Scarlett's saying getting pretty bad, like 20 spikes a minute. That's a whole
insane.
3 seconds per spike. That's a lot of spikes, man.
That's a lot of spikes.
I'm really proud I just did math on the stream.
Something
not
about
mess
it.
up.
Yep.
I haven't seen that many spikes since I was playing that Bowser's Castle level in Super Mario 64.
Oh.
Super Mario. I was so close to making it work. Just Super Mario.
So close. I think that was well done though. That was well done. I was trying to think of an area in the United States where there were just like tons of like Spike's Junkyard Dog like
Cactus.
shops.
I haven't seen that many spikes since Cactus Valley.
Oh man. But yeah, you know, we're gonna get this worked out as quickly as we possibly can. In the
I haven't seen
meantime, though,
that many spikes
Fear
since
Dragon.
roaches got tunneling claws. Okay, sorry, I'm done.
Have you seen Mad Max though? Seriously, have you seen it?
I have not seen Mad Max at all. Not a sing. I haven't even seen like a trailer. I haven't seen like an advertisement for Mad Max. I don't even know what Mad Max is. I just kind of laughed and smiled. Not gonna lie. Did the caster laugh and smile? I was like, ha, oh, Jack Attack, you and your references. And then I just kind of went along. I'm sorry, I have no idea what it is.
It's just it's a new movie that recently came out, just really nuts. I totally suggest that you see it. One of the better movies I've seen in a very, very long time.
Oh,
super
the movie! Oh
nonstop
my
action.
god, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I have seen advertised. I have seen all of the stuff for that. I haven't seen the movie. Looks amazing. I know what
Yeah,
you're talking about now. I blanked, but whoa, whoa, whoa! Jack Attack, Jack Attack.
Yep.
This double gas. This feels not super normal from Scarlett.
It may
Ace?
be a reaction to the lag, and she's just gonna Roach Bane all in because she's like, well, if I just A-move Roach Bane early enough, maybe I'll be able to win despite lag. This lag may actually be coming into this. No, we have a third base. We have a third base. Breathe deep.
Yeah.
All is well. There's a third base.
Yeah, this is one of those moments where I'm trying to figure out what the gas is going to be used for. Is she's just going straight up to like a fast lair? I mean, she has the gas for a lair. There it gets started. But what is the follow-up going to be? Okay, evolution chamber being thrown down. Second evolution chamber. Are we going to see a roach run? Are we going to see a continuation of that style from the last game?
We at least have the Roach Warren down. Double Evos are not particularly telling. I mean, it's good to have the double Evos out there just in case you need to block off or some kind of an attack or run bys or things like that. We do have Xeno opening up with just a very relaxed couple of aliens gonna come out here and see what they can do. The Banshee follow-up is going for Cloak. So that layer timing is going to come in handy for Scarlett here. Going to be in plenty of time to deal with any sort of cloak attack.
Yeah, but this isn't just going to be a regular cloak attack. This is going to be a good old Hellbat follow-up, it seems like, with the armory starting to finish its way up, and this can get a little bit scary, a little bit dicey. It's sort of weird, though, right? Because the roaches are going to be great to deal with the Hellbats, but there's still kind of the threat of the Banshees, right? I'm not sure whether or not that's going to be a problem. I don't feel like it'll be a problem just because Scarlett does have 4 queens out. I think it should be okay.
Yeah, I think either way it's going to be a tough hold because it should hit before this 1-1 finishes, and even then the 1-1 is kind of in a vulnerable area. The amount of roaches coming out, though, from Scarlett is quite high. As long as this Banshee can get dealt with, it should be okay. Never underestimate the power of Hellbats. We got a really nice concave there, but says Xeno.
Just like I thought I was the one being aggressive, but apparently not.
Apparently not at all. And these roaches just going right across the map. This is 1-1 roach timing. Going to hit at a lovely time, and Xeno scrambling to deal with this. No additional bunkers yet, but getting ready for that repair. Maybe no additional bunkers because there's no bio units anywhere. Almost made it in here, but yeah, a lot of damage coming in. 1-1, just about to finish up here.
Not
Well, this is
focused
really
down
good
that
repair
bunker.
here.
I think she could have gotten the bunker if she continued to focus fire down, but she gets a lot of SCVs, so maybe it still ends up being worth it. Gonna be able to poke on in, get a little bit of extra damage done, focus fire down as many SCVs as possible before these roaches end up losing their lives. Their lives were forfeit, but they go down for 8 SCVs. 8 SCVs for 18 roaches. Jack Attack, I don't know how much I like that.
Well, we got 58 drones on 3 bases for Scarlett right now, so she should be able to remake pretty quickly. If she can deflect any sort of a counter-aggression, counter-harass from Xenosire, I think she's going to be in a pretty great spot.
Oh, that's a fair point. Yeah, going up to 70 drones now, geez. Yeah, I'm starting to like it more the more that I see. She has enough units to defend against the kind of counter swing of Hellions. But at the same time, yeah, Spire finishes up, and we're going to be seeing Mutiles coming out, not Corruptors. So not quite the continuation of that dark style we saw in the last game.
Yeah, I feel like we see this a lot with Scarlett. She'll go down one tech path, like go for the range, and she's totally fine with saying, oh yeah, you know what? I need Mutas right now. I know I started off going range, but I'm not going to go Roach Hydra, like follow up all in. I'm just going to go into Mutas. That's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I'm good at. I'm going to make it work.
Oh. Banshee's getting absolutely obliterated over there by
Not a whole lot of
Mutalist,
damage
Banshee,
done either.
Spore Crawlers. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Xenocider getting out a Thor, getting out 2 Thors. That must mean he has a lot of factories, and a lot of factories he does have, but gonna need to get them into position, deal with the Mutals. There's actually enough Thors that I think that, well, Roaches are taking out the Thor. This is kind of awkward.
Roaches are pretty good here. And Scarlett's containing Xeno to 2 base for the time being. That's a mistake. What? Whoa. I don't. I guess she's getting worker
to repair
kills. Losing a lot of Mutas here.
I think
No,
I think
she
it's
is
turning
getting
out to
enough
be worth
worker
it,
kills,
though.
I think.
Yeah,
I
this
was
is
not
worth it.
expecting that to work. Wow. The number of worker kills.
What Mutalists in low numbers trying to do damage while Thors wail away at them, the Thors do damage very slowly versus individual Mutalists. And there was only 3 Mutalists, and they were kind of well spread out. I think that at most the Thor was hitting 2 of the Mutalists at a time. So I think it did work out pretty well.
Ooh, and we see the Flying Locust upgrade coming in for Scarlett. So we're going to see some more of that Swarm Host play.
Hey, we're getting Mech versus Scarlett. So Scarlett's saying, hey, you know what, Swarmos? Right now, the new Swarmos pretty gosh darn nice versus Mech. And we saw it get used pretty damn well in the last, in game number 2? Game number 3? I don't even remember, man. It's been such a long day of this series.
Yeah, this has been a very intense series.
3 days ago.
When I was beginning to cast the Scarlett versus Xenocider, it was late 85, I believe it
I
was.
feel bad
And,
for making these jokes in context of the best of 69. Every single time I just think like, oh god, someone out there is just like, this is nothing.
This is nothing. How long did that take? Man. God, that had to have taken forever. I didn't watch it, I must say.
18 hours.
Don't have the
18
time.
hours.
18 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure, and they didn't cheese very often either. Unlike this series where we've had cheeses that lead out into long games.
All right, so we do have this massive mech army, 2 Thors coming out at a time, Blue Flame, and more Banshees as well. We got this Swarm Host force. Let's see if there's Xeno makes an adjustment here against Scarlett and does not go for that mass, excuse me,
Siege
the
tank,
mass
or-
Viking move to try and deal with the Flying Locust.
Well, I'd
'Cause
say
it didn't seem to work
the
out last game.
The adjustment he's made is that 1, I don't see any siege tanks being made, and 2, I see a lot more Hellions being made in this game versus the last game. In the last game, if you think about it, a lot of the time those Swarm Hosts would be popping in with the Locust, and they'd just be immediately the first thing that they would be able to encounter were siege tanks or Thors. It was a lot of those high value, high gas intensive units that are hard to reproduce. This game, it's a lot of
Oh my God,
Hellbats. I
look
think
at the
Hellbats are
Thors.
going to be the first thing. Oh, that is a lot of Thors. And look at this. The Locusts go down on the
Oh
Hellbats
my
and they get
God.
evaporated.
Absolutely crushed here. This is such a scary force. This is high Thor count. Like you and I mentioned a couple of times, this is 2 Thors at a time, 3 Thors at a time now, getting pumped out here, and it's just they're just
Oh my
giant,
God.
scary walking pits of doom. It's just really difficult to deal with here, and he even brings these SCVs along to repair. Really nice touch.
Jack, don't blink, because as soon as you do, those beetles will be gone. And same thing for the Locust waves. I think the next Locust wave should be coming up pretty soon. And hey, the Hellbats are starting to get cleaned up by these Roaches and Hydras. That's going to be kind of nice. Locusts starting to come on out. The Thors are getting cleaned up, though. Scarlett looks like she might have enough to make this work. If not with this push, oh god, 3 more Thors coming in. That is just an absolutely ridiculous wave of reinforcements to see.
Yeah, and it's we got Roach Hydra coming through, but the Thors just dispatch Roaches so quickly. And pulling the boys, as it were, coming out with the drones. Oh, and landing the mules. You would think that's BM, but I think it's actually for repair. Oh, and come on, get in on the repair. We're just down to a couple of Thors. The Hydras do lots of damage per second, and it looks like this is finally getting cleaned up. Scarlett, by the way, in the wake of all this, on like 18 bases, and that's it. GG. Scarlett wins the series 4-2.
Wow, I am actually really impressed just with the play from both sides throughout the series. That looked so scary for Scarlett. I mean,
Yeah.
especially there was that moment. There was the moment, the exact moment. I can pinpoint the exact moment that I thought, oh God, is Scarlett about to just get obliterated right here? And it was when that first wave of locusts popped out, and they go after. You see them flying for a couple seconds, and then they swoop down on the Hellbats, and the Hellbats are like, okay, let's go. And all the locusts are going. You're like, what just happened? I blinked. I thought there were locusts there, but apparently my eyes deceived me. They were hallucinations because they didn't do anything. But
Yeah,
just
totally
being able to
evaporated.
funnel in those roaches, man. She was able to get up the defense.
Yep. And that wraps it up for us tonight at Gravity Fight Night. Big shout out, of course, to Team Gravity, the name of the event, the people who put this all on. Of course, Martin, our observer, Ravi, our beautiful, wonderful caster over here. I'm casting as well. Thank you to everyone in the chat chatting it up. Post your GIFs, post your GIFs, get them in there. I want to be in the chat after the delay is through, hanging out as well. And of course, thanks to the players and the sponsors. We had this evening Sonic, Puck, Arthur, Kelzer, Xenocider, Scarlett, and our sponsors. Of course, check out Spawning Tool. It's super awesome replay analysis engine that you can go check out at spawningtool.com, as well as our other sponsors as well. Ravi, we have a couple of those. We have a couple more left.
So we have Hitbox, we have Spawning Tool, and of course we have the amazing person who's going to be sponsoring our awesome event called the Tournament of Champions. Now, there has been a Tournament of Champions before, but this is going to be a little bit different. The old Tournament of Champions kind of handpicked a couple of the players and everything. This Tournament of Champions sponsored by FCKU, sponsoring for $200 the Tournament of Champions. The winners of the last two fight nights, as well as today's, that means Scarlett, and the winner of next week's, gonna be qualifying for these Tournament of Champions for $200. It's gonna be an 8-man bracket. You might be thinking, well, that's 4 players. Well, that's okay, because all of the other players who played in the preliminary matches, those are players like Kelazor, like Puck, like Sonic, of course, and like Arthur, are gonna have those opportunity to play in some qualifiers to get these seeds into those 4 other spots for the Tournament of Champions to get access to play in that $200 tournament. So very much looking forward to that, and hopefully you guys will check that out as well. Jack Attack, where can people catch you at, man?
Oh man, if you want to check out what I'm doing, it's about Jack Attack TV. I actually just set up SoundCloud/Jack Attack TV and jackattacktv.bandcamp. You can check that out. I'm making music, making StarCraft music, making regular music. Get in there. There's only 1 jam on there right now, but there's gonna be more jams coming up. I cast like a maniac with this guy Ravi all the time. Throw it up on my YouTube channel, youtube.tv/jackattack. youtube.com/jackattacktv.
Yeah,
I stream
I
at
was like,
twitch.tv/jackattacktv. It's at jackattacktv. Follow me on Twitter, facebook.com/jackattacktv, and you know, the subreddit /jackattack.
All right, and I just learned that youtube.tv is not a
a
real website.
No, it's not a thing at
The
all.
website is unavailable,
too many
apparently.
times, man.
It's all good, man. There are a lot of TVs out there, but thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all. Have a wonderful night, and we hope to see you next week for Team Gravity Fight Night.